situation where you're irritated or frustrated, ask yourself, what is it that I need to learn about myself in this moment? So identify the characteristics that you need to build in your foundation, and then begin to build a framework of your vision. If you want to be a world-renowned speaker, if you want to be a coach that impacts billions, begin to write down what that looks like. How are you impacting them? Where will these billions be located? What do I need in order to get there? And as you begin to actually build out your vision, you don't move to the left nor to the right, because you have to always stay focused on the vision in front of you. Building the vision that you have before you requires that you do not look at what's in your closet. You do not look at what you already have. You have to know that without a shout of a doubt, no matter what the closet looks like, no matter the circumstances that are right in front of you, you have already established a vision. And by any means necessary, you have to know that the end result is already there, that the promises are yes and amen. You have to know that the end result, no matter what the circumstances look like, will never change unless you give up and you refuse to make the changes that you need to make on your journey. So I am so honored that I had the opportunity to share just a little bit about building what you believe and how you can actually take what you have and build a proper foundation with you. So don't forget, when you leave today, take a moment to audit your time and ask yourself, am I truly forcing myself out of my feelings? Am I truly forcing myself out of my comfort zone? Am I forcing myself out of my head, or am I allowing myself to stay behind enemy lines and just continue to recycle the bad and negative thoughts and behaviors and habits that I have? Or am I truly shifting what I think, believe, and act upon so that I can build the vision that is within myself? Because that vision is there for you. But never, ever forget that, listen, no matter how many ideas you have, if you don't pair those ideas with your actions, the vision will never come to fruition. So don't be scared to take action. I'm so excited to see what you're going to do in this season. And if you want to talk more about how you can build your confidence, how to really be okay and confident about surviving in your reality when you still have a big vision, let me know. I am here from you. And that's what we do even within my confidence coaching. And we even start to talk about building the vision as I strategize with client processes and systems and helping you lay the foundations in your system. So I'm so excited. I hope that you got something amazing out of this. Let us know what you got from this. And if you have any questions, we will definitely be back with question and answer. Look forward to speaking with everybody, connecting with you. Have a great day. You are amazing, and every day you deserve to have a great day. Bye.
Woo! You snatched the edges, sis.
Oh man, I really wanted the people to keep the edges, but the way that, it was set up, I apologize.
Come on now. Come on now. Yeah, Dana said edge is gone. Okay, so that was so rich, sis. I appreciate you so much for all that you poured, and I want to make sure all of the questions that are flooding the Q&A box get addressed by you. So let me show the first one. This one is from Aaliyah Young. She asks, how do we learn to build for our vision and not our reality if our resources are limited? It's a good one.
That's a good question. So one thing is, I'm gonna ask you, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing more on your lack of resources, or are you focusing more on your vision? Because I said it, earlier, what you focus on is going to become your fruit. And so if you're constantly focused on what your resources are, you're going to continue to focus on what your resources are. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to ask, are you what's talking to you more, your faith or your fear? And if your fear is talking to you more, you know that you need to increase your faith. And so one of the things that I do is, the only way to increase your belief is that you have to be mindful of these three things: what you see, what you speak, and what you hear. I think another question is talking about daily strategies, and this kind of answers this question as well. I have written out every single one of my goals. I say, I am so happy and grateful now that I earn X amount of money, dollars a year. I am so happy and grateful now that I am surrounded by amazing entrepreneurs. Whatever my goals are, I have my goal cards and my backpacks in the other room, but I carry my goal cards every place I go. So when I'm on a lunch break, if I'm at an event, I pull out my goal cards, because the only thing that I want to think about is my vision, my goals, what's in front of me, because what's behind me it has no
weight on me. And so you want to be able to focus on what your vision is, because you attract who you are. You attract what you think about. And so if you're constantly thinking about the lack, if you're constantly thinking about what you don't have, what you want to have and what you desire to have is not going to be attracted to you. And so you have to change what you see, what you hear, and what you speak every single day. And not only writing your goals, get pictures for your goals. If your goal is to, be able to have 10K a month, I literally have a check in my wallet. It's signed by my mentor. It's a 10K check. I dated it. If it doesn't happen by that date, that's not my concern. My concern is that I have a 10K check that I'm going to go to my bank in cash, and I have support from my mentor on the back of it. And so I keep that in my wallet. So create things that allow you to see your vision. You speak your vision because you've written it. So when you write it, you speak it, and then you create pictures that allow you to help you constantly build your belief. It took you, however old you are, that's how many years it took you to create that. And think, so it's not going to happen overnight, but you have to get consistent and you have to get disciplined.
So good. So good. Thank you, Jaretta. I'm going to put the next one up on the stage. This one is from Demetra Lucas, and she asks, what daily strategies can you recommend? I guess you've already touched on this, so if you've already, but
Yep.
what daily strategies can you recommend to get out of your mind/feelings?
Yeah, absolutely. So let me be very clear that I still have my moments in my mind and my feelings. But like I said, feelings are not facts. And people are constantly, people always ask me, how do you know when you're ready? Ready is a decision. And so some of the things that I do,
I thought I was on mute.
ready. I'm gonna run it back just because I felt like somebody wanted to hear that again. Is a decision and not a feeling. And so when you're getting in your thoughts, you have to ask yourself, what is the root of the thought? And then once you identify the root, you need to make sure that you are aware of it and you address it. But in terms of my daily strategies, every single morning I get up, I have my visions and my goals all around my house. I have put them in laminated, in like the little sheets, the sheet protectors. I hung them in my shower. I have it on my wall. I have my goal cards. Sometimes I write them on my mirror. I don't always, because I just don't always do it because I have them so many places. But literally every room in my house has goal cards. Every morning I write my goal. I pick one goal, which is usually my financial goal for the year. I write it 10 times every single day. Typically in the morning. So it's the first thing that I start every morning. And then I'm getting to the point where I don't listen to music in this season. I only listen to audiobooks. So I just finished up one book, which I cannot, Think and Grow Rich. And then I'm currently on how to influence people. That might be the wrong name of the book, but I can drop it in the chat in just a second. But yeah, you have to constantly retrain your mind until your faith is greater than your fear, till your belief is greater than your disbelief, until your confidence is greater than your doubt. Like, you have to make a decision that moving forward, your focus is on what you desire, not what you're currently looking at and what you've walked out of.
That's good. That's good. The next one is easy. I'm going to put on the stage just in case other people have this question. Is it possible to save this video for my morning inspo? The replay of this particular session will be available for 3 months. So yes, you can come and literally experience it inside of here. Like, the chat will be there and everything for 3 months. All right. The next one is from Tiffany Brown, and she asks, how do you work on setting boundaries with people pleasing?
So, okay, it's easy, but it's hard, because depending on who you're having issues with, who the people that you're having issues with can depend on the difficulty. I will give you an example. My mom is one of the people that I had to put really big boundaries on, because she would always call me, she would always ask for money. And I'm obviously coming out, when I was coming out of a phase of getting out of the poverty mindset, I'm a giver. So I constantly gave money. And so I had to start putting boundaries and saying, hey, it would come down to something as simple as, what do you need the money for? And then, she would get angry, but it's like, hey, this is my money. And so I need to make sure that I'm stewarding my money correctly. And so you have to get bold with it. I don't care who it is. You're going to have to get bold, number one. But identifying who those people are, and also see if you're keeping them around just because sometimes you don't need boundaries, you just need scissors to cut them off. So I mean, if I love y'all, but right, listen, it gets that real sometimes. So identify why you need boundaries with them, and identify if you need boundaries or if you need scissors. But if it is that you need boundaries, you need to make sure that you know what it is that they're draining from you. Some people I don't talk to often because they drain my energy. They're constantly calling me to rant, but they're close to me. They're my sisters. They're some of my really good friends. And I just have times I say, hey, what's up? Hey, I got about 30 minutes. I go ahead, set precedence from the beginning. I could be getting ready to go watch a movie. I say, hey, I got 15 minutes. What's going on? And I don't have a problem doing that, because at the end of the day, you got to get serious about what you want. That's really it. But you just have to know what it is, where you need boundaries, and be okay. If you set boundaries that I'm not going out, I tell my friends, hey, for the month of June, I'm not spending any extra money, period. They don't even text me and tell me where they're going. I see pictures on social media, be like, oh, okay. But it just depends on what you need, and just you get serious about it and you voice your boundaries. You don't just have internal boundaries. Sometimes you have to voice them as well.
That's so good, Jaretta. That's so good. That's so good. Heavy on the scissors, heavy on the timetables. I'm like that, like, even especially for my naps. I take naps every day, Jaretta. I'm like, yeah, no, that hour is closed.
Yeah, and I would tell people my phone on do not disturb, boo. If you call it and it goes straight to voicemail, it's on do not disturb. Don't call me again, just so you can ring through.
Don't hurt your feelings. Don't hurt your own feelings. All right. So the next one is from Sierra Davis, and she asks, how do you deal with the guilt you feel? This is good. From saying no and setting boundaries.
Okay, y'all, I promise I love y'all, but you gotta care. You gotta get in selfish season, because people don't have guilt, I promise you, about when they put boundaries around you or when they do certain things. People don't have guilt when they call you and they tell you their negativity. They don't have guilt when they're calling to rant. They don't have guilt when they're asking you for money. They don't have guilt. They don't. So you have to get to the point. I'm not saying that I didn't feel guilty, but I cared more about my success. I cared more about my growth. I cared more about the places that I'm trying to go, because I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it probably for the person that I have boundaries for. I need you to see something different. The reason that I do, and I tell anybody my why, is so that, one, I can be the example to other people that their life does not have to be a dictation of the things that they've been through and the things that they have dealt with. I am choosing to be an example, and because I know that what I'm doing is for not just my benefit, but your benefit. So you just have to get to the point where you know that you're doing it not out of selfish reasons, that you're not doing it to be hateful and mean. And if people treat you differently because you place boundaries, you might need to reevaluate that association, because people that truly love you want you to grow. And so you should not have guilt. And if you do, it's okay, because it's just a feeling. Guilt is a feeling. We already said feelings, not facts. Feelings are fickle. Feelings change, and feelings will go away. I love y'all, though.
That's so good. Now make it plain, sis. All right. We have 2 minutes left. I think this is the last one. Courtney, I'm going to put yours on the stage. Courtney West asks, how do we steer out of people pleasing and gain our power and our voice?
That's a really good question. So one of the things that I did to gain my power and my voice is I began to speak. You have to use your voice in order to strengthen your voice. Anything that you use, you strengthen. And so how do you gain that? You have to start using your voice. So as you start setting boundaries, the more I do it, I start feeling good about it because it was intentional. And so the more that you use your voice, the more that you strengthen your voice. And it doesn't, I always tell people that I work with, you might not have the belief, but I promise you, baby, I got enough belief for you. Borrow some of mine till you get your own. But you have to get around people that will help uplift you and help hold you accountable for what you're doing. Because if you don't have people around you that support you and what you're doing, you're going to find it easier to fall back, and you're going to find it easier to not stay true to the boundaries, and you're going to continue to lose your voice. But I have an amazing group of people around me. And so I strive to make sure that I'm that same support for people, because it's hard out here. It's hard out here for a pimp. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just got to make sure that you just really put yourself around people that will help you. And the more that you use your voice, the more that it will be strengthened.
That's good, Jaretta. Thank you so much for all of these gems. Your voice is needed, obviously, because it's ushering us higher, right? It is catapulting us into leadership. Today is all about the tactical things, right? We got the vision yesterday, but it was somebody else's. Now it is about identifying your own. Jaretta is more than what our palate, sis. You've given us some meat and potatoes, and we're gonna keep this rocking, y'all. Love you so much. together. Thank you
You're
so
so
much.
welcome. If I didn't get to your questions, just go to my booth and just hit me on Instagram and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Love y'all. Be
Dope, dope,
amazing.
dope. All right, y'all. So now we're going to go to the next session, which is how to use delusion, to create an empowered reality. I'll see y'all on the other side. Peace.
To join you today because we're going to talk about one of my most favorite things in the world. And here's the thing. I know so many people tell you that you should not ever be delusional, because when you're delusional, you don't get the best out of life. You live in a world that everyone else doesn't live in, and it's something that you should avoid at all costs. And today, what I'm going to do is go against that very notion and show you how to build and create an empowered life using delusion. Here's the thing. It is not enough for your life to simply look good. And I know Instagram will fool you into thinking that how it looks is all that matters. And I am here to tell you that it cannot just look good. It has to feel good for you. I need you to do me a favor. Don't look to the left or to the right. Don't look to the left or to the right. This is completely and solely about you. And looking around is a distraction that quiets your own voice. And I need you to be very loud in your own ears. I want you to do this for me. And I want you to come on this journey with me. I want you to first, let's take some inventory. I love taking inventory. When I was a teenager and I was getting ready to go off to school, I worked for an inventory counting organization. And we would go into places, these huge stores, and we would have to count every single piece and item that was in that store that was available that could be sold for a profit. I want you to do that same thing. I want you to take a piece of paper. I want you to put it the long way, and I want you to draw 2 lines in it, just two lines. And I want you in that first column, I want you to list out every single skill that you have, every single skill that you know about, that you've used, that you've leveraged. Whether you enjoy it or not is irrelevant at this point. I want you to write it all out. And then in that second column, I want you, and I know most people will tell you, don't look at your problems, because when you look at your problems, they magnify. And yes, that is true. But for these purposes, I want you to get super clear. What are the problems that every single one of your skills solves? I want you to write it out. Listen, we are going on a journey, and we are doing this together. So I hope you are writing this out. Now I want you to write out every single problem that your particular skill set solves. For every skill, I want you to attach a problem to it. And then in that third column, that third and final column, because remember, we're not looking to the left or to the right or at anybody else. We are solely looking at ourselves, because this is completely and totally about you. The only way you can use delusion to create an empowered life is to first get a clear depiction and idea of what your life actually is. All right, now once you've done that, I need you to do me a favor. In that third column, I need you to write out every single job or opportunity, anything that you can be paid for using your skill to solve a problem. And I want you to take that, I want you to fold it up, and I want you to keep it. I want you to keep it because here's what I want you to do with it. I want you to, every single time you become afraid, you become scared, you become unsure, I want you to go back to that piece of paper, and I want you to look at all of the skills that you have, because every single person has value. That is a hard stop. But if you assess and determine your value based on your ability to, let's say you're not a surgical resident, but you assess and determine your value based on how well you can perform complex surgeries, you're going to feel as though you have no value. If a fish, based its ability and its value and how well it can climb a tree, it will go its entire life thinking that it has nothing to offer the world. So I want you, every time you become discouraged or unsure or unaware or just unclear, I want you to take out that piece of paper and I want you to take a look at all of the skills that you possess. And then I want you to take a look at that second column, and then I want you to see all of the ways in which your skills not only bring value, but solve problems. And then, if ever you get discouraged and you feel it is time to transition and your soul is speaking to you and telling you that it wants and longs to do more, I want you to take a look at that third column. And when you look at that third column, I want you to see all the ways in which you can take what you are good at, what solves a problem, and what also can provide resources to provide and build an empowered life for you. And then if ever you find yourself going through a transitionary period, I want you to build you a fourth column. That fourth column can be super small, super tiny. And in that fourth column, I want you to assign how you feel on a scale of 1 to 5 about each of those skill sets that you possess. When you identify how something makes you feel, you're able to more clearly define whether or not it's something that you want to do. Because here's the thing, yes, you will have to steer your own ship. We are not waiting for permission. But if you are one who feels, well, I need some validation, I need some permission, even though I truly do believe that validation is strictly and solely for parking. But if you are one who just needs that, it is okay. We can honor your needs. This is the permission slip that you're waiting for, because a real one that you can hold, is not coming. It is not coming simply because you already possess it. You took possession of that permission slip the day you took your first breath. When you first inhaled, when you first when you came into the world, whether or not you like the person who brought you in here, the person whose body crafted and formed your body to give your soul a place to live, when you inhaled, you accepted the fact that you are the master of your fate and you are the captain of your soul. And here's the thing about being the master and the captain of your soul, the permission slip that you're looking for, you already possess. But see, what has happened to so many of us is somehow along the way, somebody told you to be realistic. And in telling you to be realistic, it killed your instinct to go after what your soul knew and knows is possible for you. So I want you to be delusional. Be delusional about your life. Be delusional about your ability to create whatever it is that you desire. You truly can create whatever, because you are a creator. And every single time you inhale, that right there, that ability to breathe in, that is your soul reminding you of your creative ability. Don't tell me you're not creative, because every single time you take a breath in, you are creating another opportunity for you to keep going. I want you to welcome delusion with open arms, because it is delusional for a girl who was born with rats crawling in her bassinet, entrenched in poverty, choosing abusive partners like children choose candy, would be the same girl who now radically loves herself and thrives in and on purpose, who has built a life that not only looks good, but feels even better. And this ain't just a monolith, because what I want you to do is I'm going to give you and show you how to create what I call your delusional blueprint. We are going to yes and your life, and we are not going to look to the left or to the right to determine our next steps. We are not going to look outside of ourselves. We are going to look inside. We are going to turn inward, because looking for those permission slips is what will always cause us to falter. I want you to remember that every single time you take a breath and you inhale, and I want you to do it with me, inhale with me. Remember that that is your soul reminding you that the permission you're looking for already exists. And every single time you take a breath, that it is another opportunity for you to get even more delusional about the life that you can live and the things that you can do and your ability to create. So now, this delusional blueprint looks a little something like this. There are 3 steps to do it in. Just 3, because we not making this deep, dark, or difficult. Number 1, I want you to get bold, and I want you to tap in. Get bold and tap in. I want you to create the grandest version of your life. This is not about what your mother said you should do, what your father said you had to do, what your grandmama told you that was necessary for you to carry on the legacy for your family. That is good, and thank them for it. And now create the grandest version of your life. Who are you? What impact are you or do you desire to make? What are you experiencing? Where are you residing? I want you to get clear. How does your life feel? How do you feel living your life? I want you to imagine it in living, bold, beautiful, brilliant colors. What does your life smell like? What are you wearing? Who is there? I want you to create a vibrant image of exactly what that is. I want you to be able to look around at every aspect of your life, and I want you to be able to tell me what you are experiencing, what it feels like, what you are doing, and how you are enjoying this one beautiful, bold life that you have. I need you to remember that every single vision that you are creating, it is an energy, and that energy has a frequency. And the more you tune into that frequency, the more of it you get to experience. And so as you are building this beautiful, bold vision of what your life looks like, and you are defining what it smells like and what it feels like and what you are feeling like as you are living this bold experience, I want you to take that frequency, that feeling that you have, and I want you to give it a name, because that feeling that you have, that delusion that you are allowing yourself to play with and enjoy and experience, that's called joy. That is the joy that your soul knows is waiting for you on the other side of your fear. And I want you to name your joy. My joy's name is Eddie. Every single time I become afraid or fearful, and I only look at my list of my skills and the problems that my skills solve and the jobs and opportunities that my skill set, that I can build resources and build a life off of. And I not only look at how each of those makes me feel, but I also call the name of my joy so that I can go back to the energy and the feeling and the frequency of what it feels like to live my grandest, boldest version of my life. Name your joy. And every single time you recall the name of your joy, every time I call the name Eddie, I get goosebumps, because I know there is so much that is still possible for my life, and I am just brimming with purpose and possibility, and I invite you to do the same. Because now, after you've created that vibrant image of yourself, I want you to take everything that you have just imagined, and I want you to yes and it. And I know you're probably confused. What is a yes and? For those who have never done improv, when you're telling a story in improv, you don't get to stop the story. You get to yes and it when you're ready for the next person to pick up where you left off and to build and add to that story. We're going to do the same thing to your life. You got big, right? Excuse me, you got bold. You got bold in that first one when we're creating that blueprint for building our delusional life, our delusional blueprint. You got bold. Now I want you to go bigger. Yes, yes, go bigger. I know that bold vision scared you a little bit. Now I want you to get even more terrified because I want you to go bigger. To be honest, being mediocre is actually harder than being brilliantly excellent, because all the lanes are filled on mediocre lane. It's a car in every lane. But when you go for the bigger dream and go for the grander vision, there's a lot less competition because there are a lot fewer cars on the road, because most people allow their fears to talk them out of their dreams. So I want you to yes and your life. Yes, and I'll be an international speaker. Yes, and I'll have brand deals in the millions of dollars. Yes, and I'll own 100 unit developments that help walk people out of poverty. Yes, and your life. And I want you to be delusional as you can about your ability. I do not care where you are starting from. I started with a rat in my bassinet. I was brought home to a shack that didn't have running water on the inside. I spent an entire year without running water in my home and 6 months without electricity. It makes no sense for where my life is now, but I have been delusional about my ability to tap into my creator position, to tap into the opportunity that inhale has gifted me. I want you to do the same. Your life can be brilliantly excellent if and only if you allow yourself to get delusional about it. And now for this blueprint, we've got one final step because I told you it was 3. The first one was I want you to get bold and I want you to tap in. The second one was take everything you just imagined and I want you to yes and it. And now this third one is I want you to take at least one step, just one. Take at least one step or one action towards what you say you want. Your one step is a signal to the universe that you are ready. It is the green light from your soul saying, I consent. And yes, consent matters in all things. Your one intentional step is the start of miracles and magic in your life, because support can now come to aid you because you now believe what you've said and in what you envision. And once you believe it, nothing but death can keep you from it. Nothing. As long as you are inhaling, remember that is your opportunity. It is another opportunity for you to go after everything that you have imagined, no matter how delusional. And no, you do not have to be lucky for it either. Your belief in it simply has to trump your fear of it. And now I don't necessarily believe in luck, but I do believe wholeheartedly in energy. And every energy, like I told you before, has a frequency. So you will have to learn to tap into that frequency, naming your joy and reliving the feeling behind what you get when you imagine your most delusional, most empowered, most impactful life. And no, you cannot change what happens to you. You cannot. However, your actions and your energy can be used to create a life that works for you. I've shared a few secrets with you, and before I leave, I'm going to share my final secret with you. But first, Breathe in with me. And then remember, delusion is simply the belief that all things are possible. Not some, not a few, but all. It is the unwavering belief that you, I, and we are enough. And within us is the power to create whatever you have imagined. I now invite you to get delusional about your life with me.
Yeah, somebody said, wow. I know that's right. Alicia is so dope, y'all. She just hit me up. She's sending so much love and light. She's in the middle of filming, so she can't leave set right now. But she really, really hope that you enjoyed this. I'll have to tell her to come in the replay and look at all the comments because I see that you have. But it's powerful, right? And I want you all to put this into context. I promise you we're going somewhere. I promise you we are going somewhere. I know you already feel it, right? So the first 2 days, right, we were planting knowledge about where the world is about to be so that you fast forward to the future. We did not give you activities to define what it is, right? We listened to you as you had your wheels turning, but still you were removed. You were safe, right? The scariest thing you did thus far was show up in the Kiva booth and say, hey, about this money, right? Now we are transitioning to put onus on you, right? To get past your fear, to get past, all of those things that hold you back, right? Doing it scared, doing it despite trauma, et cetera, right? So I want to hear reactions right now, right? What do you want to share? And not like, wow, that was powerful. It was powerful, sis. But what are you about to do with it? What are you about to do with what you've been challenged with today? I want to hear those reactions. There's a question over here. I'll have to, Mika said, I'll have to watch the replay, miss all the columns. Y'all, but hey, go to Q&A, right? This is not a spectator sport. Go to Q&A and drop the columns for Demetria. Just respond, right? Put a comment. And then by the time y'all, get through these in the next couple of minutes, you'll have all 4. All right. I won't mark it as answered because I need y'all to answer it. All right, Gina. I see you, mama. I'm bringing you up. What are you about to do with what you've learned?
Yeah, so I've put it in the chat. Your belief has to trump your fear. And that's the biggest thing, the fear of the unknown. So I'm going to take that leap. I kept hearing her say she was living in a rat-infested, environment and all the things she overcame. And I haven't had that. So what am I afraid of? What am I holding back? So I'm not holding back. I'm going forward. This is it. No more fear. I got to come back to trumpet.
Ashe, it's already done, Gina. And I feel it. I feel a strength in your voice. That's big founder energy right there. Yes. Go for it. Thank you, mama. All right. Who else? I see more people raising their hand again, right? And I'm challenging y'all. For real, right? I want you to tell me what you're going to do about it. Not in general time. Like, what are you going to do about it? You got to get comfortable with the sound of your voice, your own voice. All right. Aaliyah, you're up.
Hi, my book that I wanted to put out, I wrote it last year after I finished my therapy and healing, etc. But I was so afraid that because I didn't have like a platform, like I don't have a big social media following, etc. It was not time to perfect it, trademark it, etc. and put it out. I am going to do that before this summer is up. I actually just canceled my trip to New Orleans so I can invest in the business coach instead. So that's something that I'm going to do. And I'm trying to get to that 6-week biz summit. Incentive that you got going. So I'm gonna invest all my last little coins and it's gonna be a great return for me. I'm not worried about what I can see right now. I'm worried about where I'm going. So that's where I'm at with it.
Woo! Baby, I got chills. Powerful, Aaliyah. And yes, come to the Blaze Business Intensive. It starts July 9th. I promise you'll never be the same. I promise you. So I'm excited about seeing you in there. Love that, y'all. Progress over perfection. Always. Progress over perfection. If your $1,300 phone can send you software updates every night, As much money as they have, there is no reason why you can't iterate as you go. Progress over perfection. All right, Chandra, I'm bringing you up. What are you going to do about it?
Hi. So, can you hear me? So,
Yes,
I've
ma'am.
started my business, but I have let others deter me that I am delusional and it can't be achieved. And I know from within myself that I have it. I can do it. I've done it. I was terminated from a job and I've gotten back into it, and I'm not letting anything or anyone stop me because I have the power from within. So they can clap back and keep it moving because I'm about to go all full force, hun.
Ashe, Ashe. And Chandra, you have a whole army behind you. You have a whole army behind you. So whatever you need, sis, you got it. The Blaze Tribe is about 5,500 people deep now today, right? I promise you, whatever you need, we have in the village, and we will show up for you any day of the week. All right. Love and light to you. You got this, mama. You got this. All right, we're gonna keep it rolling. Tiara, what are you gonna do about it?
I am going to stop debunking my delusion. So instead of sitting there and trying to level it down and play it down, I'm going to go into it, because that's simply me believing that everything I'm setting myself up to do is possible, and it is. So I'm going to stop debunking it. I'm going to stop running from it. I'm going to step into my delusion, as delusional as that might sound. You on mute, Casey. We can't hear you.
Okay, look, and you sound like you wanted to hear that too. I appreciate you, sis. I appreciate you. Steve Jobs said, and we know who Steve Jobs is, right? We know what Apple is, but we also know who Steve Jobs is, right? He said, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Like, so being a visionary, yeah, it's all the way out there. It is all the way out there, but you are the one that changes the world. Ashe and amen to everything you're saying here. You got this, baby. You got this. All right. We're going to keep these rolling. We have 3 minutes left. Yep. Jamila, this is a new one. All right, mama, what are you going to do about it?
Can you hear me? You can hear me? Okay, I just want to say my friend actually told me about this virtual summit, and I just want to say that just hearing Alicia, it just gave me confirmation of what I'm already doing. I'm on the right path to doing it. I'm an educational consultant. Special education is my field, so I've been promoting my business. I've been on my LinkedIn. I've been on my social media. I've been responding to proposals. I've been writing proposals. So it's like I'm trying to get out here in these schools to better support our special education teachers, because I'm so sick and tired of all these other people coming in the district telling teachers how we're supposed to educate our Black and brown kids. And also they don't provide training for SPED teachers. So it's like you're just learning as you're going. So I'm like, who else better than me to come and support teachers? I've been in special ed for 16 years, so I know what we need and what we just need to grow, and also support parents too. So this just spoke more into me to like give me that oomph to just keep going. So I'm so happy my friend sent this to me.
Big ups to your friend. I love that, Jamila. I love that. Do your thing. If you need anything, you let us know, but it's already done. Like, you sound like a founder. like you sound like a leader. Ashe and amen to all you're doing. Beautiful job, y'all, ladies. Okay, Erica Hill, I'm bringing you up. You're the last one, okay? What are you going to do about it?
I guess it's not what I'm gonna do, it's what I already did. I actually DM'd you this morning to talk about funding opportunities, because yesterday at the Digital Black Wall Street presentation, I just felt like really moved, because I actually used those words, Digital Black Wall Street, in the very first business plan that I put together for my very first pitch competition. I've actually been pitching my business for the last year and not been able to get any money. It's been very frustrating, because I have this vision and it's like obvious that people all over the world, you're literally in Africa and you're saying things that I wrote down a year ago. And so it's just like super crazy and inspiring to finally be in the place that I'm supposed to be. The last pitch competition that I was a part of they actually mixed my email up with a finalist. So I thought I got picked as the top 5 and then spent all weekend working on a pitch. And then they told me that I didn't make it. And so, like I said, it's been really, really frustrating. And I can see it. I can taste it. It's right there. And so I guess, like I said, it's not what I'm going to do. It's what I already did.
I love that. And God loves you. God loves you. God led you here, but he also led you on the stage right now. You were meant to be the last one to speak. So you probably sent it to my, I'll call it a burner, a burner email address that allows me to show up as a speaker when I need to be a host, right? I didn't get it in my main one, right? So this one right here, right? I want you to DM me right now because I don't have it. Everybody that's DM'd me, I've responded. I want you to DM me. I'm going to mentor you, okay? You have a mentor, right? And I know so much about finance. So we are going to be very, very close. We're going to meet a lot, mama. I got you. God loves you. All of this and everything you've gone through to get to this point, you've needed. Trust that. Everything you've gone through to get to this point, you have needed. All right, love and light. Thank you so much, Erica.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So we're going somewhere. We about to go into anti-Blackness not accepted. Okay. Jakina is off the chain. I'ma just tell y'all before we get into it, I'm gonna tell y'all what she called and told me. Oh, I got chills. She said, Casey, when I decided to speak on this, I thought I was talking to white folk. She said, but as I started pouring and thinking about what I was gonna talk about, I realized I had to talk to myself. Woo, I'm gonna stop right there. Let's go over there. I'll see you in a minute. Love and light. Peace.
My place of work was a predominantly white institution of higher learning. My university, like many other institutions, posted the Black Lives Matter motto on its website. And it was at that point I knew my Black ass had to exit stage left. And when I exited higher education in 2020, it's because I truly believed I deserve safety. Now, I can finally see that for the longest time, I didn't believe I truly had. I didn't believe I deserved safety when I spent 2 months literally having to ask a program administrator who was racialized as white to open my office doors when she refused to give me access to keys. I didn't believe I deserved safety when I sat through a student's loud vitriol when he proceeded to cuss, discredit, and threaten me in a class full of his peers. I didn't even believe I deserved safety when my immediate supervisor cursed and yelled at me during a scheduled meeting with a colleague. While I had seen the value of having a safe workplace, I truly hadn't made space to embody those beliefs. Now today, I can say with my full chest, I believe that I deserve safety. And I believe that y'all do too. So I want to expand on how confronting my own internalized anti-Blackness has made me whole and better equipped to understand and confront racial terror. I hope y'all like music because I'm inviting the powerful lyrics of Tank and the Bangas to help me amplify my voice. Black sounds like songs, smells like good food, and it tastes like heart disease, but it feels like maize at Jazz Fest. Black sound like something that hurt like a hard test. Black sound like skin, like something dark. It look like hair. Yeah, black sound like rough and good hair. Look like history, sound spiritual. Black sound like years, like working, like night. Black sound like money, look like Walmart, like corner stores, like cash register singing. Black sound like 400 years, smell like Oprah, impactful like Martin, look like Cicely Tyson. The truth is, y'all, we have normalized being sick and tired. We've done this for generations. Our ancestors, especially those who were enslaved, consistently fought to subdue racial terror that had been subsidized by institutional racism and anti-Blackness. We have spent years advocating for equal access under the law while tirelessly working to get folks within and outside our communities to acknowledge the various levels of violence Black folks across the diaspora experience. This work has been just and necessary. However, because so much emphasis in my own life had been placed on conversations about others, I failed to realize how much internalized anti-Blackness had impacted my own sense of self. Now, you may be like, Kina, what is anti-Blackness and how is that different from racism? Now, while racism can be understood most often as prejudice, discrimination, or even antagonism directed against the person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular race or ethnic group, or more specifically, racism is often understood as the systemic oppression of a racial group to the social, economic, and or political advantage of other groups. So this is something that we're familiar with. It's a term that we've been using for a long, long time. But let's dig a little deeper here, y'all. Afro-pessimist scholars tell us to approximate what Black people have experienced and continue to experience as simply racism fails to provide an adequate composition of Black lived realities that illuminate the racial grammars of suffering, alienation, exploitation, antagonism, and gratuitous violence against the Black. Dumas and Ross would even add to this. Anti-Blackness is not simple racism against Black people, but rather a broader antagonistic relationship between 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 2, 1. Other scholars would even tell us that anti-Blackness is not simply racism against Black people, but rather a broader antagonistic relationship between Blackness and the possibility of humanity. And lastly, our good sis Christina Sharp tells us that anti-Blackness is not a pandemic or even an infectious disease, but rather a total climate. And so, if we're gonna keep it a buck here, anti-Blackness is the denial of our humanity. And that happens from people who look like me, and even from people who don't. Studying both Afrofuturism and Afro-pessimism guided me to do the deep work to reflect on the very real and contemporary impacts of anti-Blackness in my life. An anti-Black world is a global entity born out of the weight of chattel enslavement. And to learn more about the direct impact of global anti-Blackness, we can look to the work of Dr. Joy DeGruy. So Dr. Joy DeGruy conceptualized the idea of post-traumatic slave syndrome, a theory that explains the adaptive survival behaviors known as trauma responses in Black communities throughout the United States and the African diaspora. It is a condition that exists as a consequence of multi-generational oppression of Africans and their descendants, resulting from centuries of chattel slavery, a form of slavery that was predicated on the belief that Africans were inherently and genetically inferior to whites. This was then followed by institutionalized racism, which continues to perpetrate injury, thus resulting in key behavioral patterns such as vacant esteem, Now, vacant esteem is one of these key behaviors that Dr. Joy points out. Dr. Joy refers to vacant esteem as the insufficient development of primary esteem, alongside feelings of hopelessness, depression, and a general self-destructive outlook. The second principle she highlights is marked propensity for anger and violence. Marked propensity for anger and violence is the extreme feelings of suspicion, perceived negative motivation of others. It's the violence against self, property. It can even include the violence against members of your own family, friends, or acquaintances. And the last behavior pattern that Dr. Joy notes is considered to be racist socialization, internal racism, or even internal anti-Blackness. That is the learned helplessness, the literacy deprivation, distorted self-concept, or even aversion for our own groups, our own culture, our own norms and customs, the things that tie us to a larger ethnic heritage, even our own physical characteristics. And all of these trauma responses are deeply tied to post-traumatic slave syndrome. Now, while I can safely say I might not have directly experienced these behaviors, I have definitely witnessed them in both professional as well as public spaces. And I also know that we've created all types of cliches and metaphors, y'all, around these issues, such as terms like Uncle Tom's or all skin folk and kinfolk. And yes, there is definitely space to critique the Candace Owen types within our mix. But on a much deeper level, we have to face the reality that we all have been exposed to toxic messages about our community that flows as easily as our drinking water. Village women, tribal children, native language, something's missing. Ripping spirit, no religion. This is what we teach our children. The chapters we don't know, there's no ink to fill them. The visions of the soul need Stevie to see them. Stolen fruit. We need to realize that the constant racial terrorism and anti-Blackness that we've all been exposed to is so much more than simple racism. Even though there is nothing simple about the racism we live through and negotiate every day of our lives. We need to activate what I would call a posture of demand. And we do this by reflecting on our own internalized anti-Blackness, which allows us to do the hard work of healing ourselves and future generations. I just want to hop out the morning colored Porsche. Mellow yellow, blue dash, you got an ass like a horse, purple tinted rims is spinning like amen. Like I'm in church, sticky swervy, like I'm serving on my shirt, communion in my cup. In 2020, after I left higher ed, I transitioned into another career trajectory. I was able to think critically and align myself with my passions and values. And I made more space for my own humanity, a humanity that had been constantly questioned due to both internalized as well as external anti-Blackness. I realized that I could not command what I didn't think I deserved. And once I was able to see my full humanity, it created opportunities to truly see others. Now, while walking away from traditional norms relating to work was tricky, I can say I'm now in a space where I am more connected to my own divine humanity and knowing. I am able to see more clearly the impacts of empire in my life and realize the value in my own embodied knowledge. And I have that threefold, y'all. One, I have ancestral knowing, the power of ancestral knowledge the knowledge from my grandmother, Ruth Reed. And I tell folks, hey, I may not know what it means to be a Black woman living in the segregated South in the 1930s, but I was in the body of a Black woman who did. I have lived experience. My direct observations and experiences do matter. And I don't have to continuously rely on people outside of the community to give me credibility. And then lastly, if we gotta talk about it, I mean, I have a piece of paper from a white government institution that says I know how to read and write, y'all. Moreover, I was able to free myself from the prolonged presence of what our great ancestor Toni Morrison called the white gaze. In the documentary, Toni Morrison, The Pieces I Am, she refers to the white gaze as the little white man that sits on your shoulder and checks everything you say or do. Well, you sort of knock them off and then you're free. She further explains, I have had reviews in the past that have accused me of not writing about white people. I remember a review in which a reviewer said, one day she, meaning me, will have to face up to the real responsibilities and get mature and write about the real confrontation for Black people, which is white people. As though our lives have no meaning and no depth without the white gaze. I have spent my entire writing life trying to make sure that the white gaze was not the dominant one in any of my books. Ashe, dear Toni. Dr. Janice Gessim-Ashore expands here to even add more to Toni's righteous thoughts. In the simplest terms, the white gaze can be conceptualized as the assumed white reader. When writers craft stories, the assumed white and often cisgender heterosexual male audience that we are writing for, and two is the white gaze in action. The white gaze can be expanded to mean the ways in which whiteness dominates how we think and operate within society. Being encouraged to adhere to white-centered norms and standards is one of the ways the white gaze operates. And to create a world, and more specifically a workplace, that is built on equity, understanding the ways the white gaze show up is imperative. And it wasn't until I confronted my own internalized anti-Blackness that I realized how much of my life had been spent with that little white man on my shoulders. What's up, people? This is Mr. I don't need no damn script. This is Mr. Crush, make your mama blush. This is Mr. Let's make a deal, I keep it real. And I got something hot and heavy coming in for y'all from New Orleans' very own Tank and the Bangas, the Red Balloon album. When we start thinking about how we move forward, first things first, I want us to see our divine humanity. Now, Dr. Christina Cleveland published a book earlier this year called God is a Black Woman. And in that book, she cites, indeed, social science scholars agree that what's good for Black women is good for all people. The liberation of all Black women requires the dismantling of all systems of oppression, white supremacy, patriarchy, capitalism, Islamophobia, homophobia, transphobia, and more. These systems harm all of us. So if Black women are thriving and free, it also means the oppressive systems have been eradicated and we are all thriving and free. The second thing we need to move forward is realize that we do need to stop catering and centering whiteness and its demands. And I love this quote from Leviti that tells us we've all been socialized to often believe that white ice is always colder. Y'all, it ain't. And the last step as we consider moving forward into our whole humanity is that we must develop a posture of demand. Now for me, this looked like learning about both the transatlantic and the domestic slave trades. It is from this deep knowing and knowledge that I was truly able to understand what is due to me as a Black woman living in an anti-Black world. In conclusion, it was easy to be done when I saw that BLM sign that day, because I knew that I deserved much more. But I only knew that because I had done the work of healing myself inside out. Now, I'm not saying everyone needs to go out there and quit all the things, but I am encouraging us to be honest with ourselves about the ways we have been conditioned to negate our own humanity from within. Big bang, big tank, bang, bang, shots out. All of y'all can eat this up like black folk at the cook out. Thick and pretty from the south, money chasing F the clout. Settle down, children, before I bring the paddle out. I got that juice, y'all, make the girls want to move. Big.
Our girl Keena, okay? Our girl Keena. And when I say I'm so happy she's an educator, I am so happy she's an educator. Keena is super, super dope, y'all. And again, you know, for those who didn't hear me say this in the last session before we wrap, she literally started this. She literally chose the topic thinking that she was about to speak to white folks, right? And as she ideated this, right, as the vision further fleshed out, she called and said, Casey, I realized this is for me. So I love how she took us in a truly like a research style, right? Through unpacking this very complex, nuanced topic. Keena might hop on here before the DJ set, y'all. I don't see her. But just in case, even if she doesn't, let me use this time to give you a few shout outs and reminders. Shout outs and reminders, because at the top of the hour, we have our girl, DJ T.O., otherwise known as SheJTO, from South Carolina. I'm from there, so I got to rep that heavy. But she's going to be rocking on the ones and twos again. All right, leaderboard. I'm gonna shout out the top 15. All 15 get prizes, but we're nowhere near done. Literally, last time we had a good sis. I think it was Janelle. Like Janelle, let me know if it was you. I think it was Janelle. Like literally missing a couple of days because of the way she was registered under somebody else's name, but she came all the way to the top and she won a prize as well. But shout out to Demetra Lucas with 5,705 points. Let me drill in, sis. What? Okay, let me tell y'all. Let me give y'all her business. From joining sessions, she has 1,250 points. From submitting interest in booths, dang, I'm telling them all your secret sauce, huh? Okay, this is the last one I'm gonna say. She has 1,600 points. I'm gonna get out of here, sis. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm not gonna tell them all of your secrets. Okay, right behind we have Tiffany Brown with 5,645. It just refreshed, y'all. Let me refresh because some of y'all already moving. What? Okay. No, it's all good. It's all okay. So Demetra's number 1, Tiffany's number 2. We have Courtney West. I gotta brag on Courtney West. She has 5,140 points. Okay. Courtney West DM'd me to let me know that she had not only created a Podia account. I've been telling y'all about Podia, right? I've been telling y'all about Podia. I'm gonna tell you what she did first, and then I'll remind you what Podia is. She DM'd me to tell me not only that she had created a Podia account, she already has her website up, and she said it looks phenomenal. And she's about to start offering her products to the world. Come on, Courtney. Big founder energy. Progress over perfection. Yes. Wow. Yes. So Podia, they are one of the strategic partners of the summit. They have gifted the number 1 prize winner of this summit. The winner will be announced on Sunday, right? On day 5, Juneteenth. A annual subscription, which is a $900 value to their Shaker plan, which gives you unlimited paid or free courses, unlimited paid or free services, meaning if you want to do video type consultations, unlimited downloads, unlimited community members, paid or free with different tiers, different membership plans if you want to do that. Unlimited webinars, so you can literally sync upcoming webinars. and have people pay to be on or have it be free. And then it will automatically convert the live to a recording where any other follow-on purchases happen automatically and they just watch the replay. Okay. I'm all about low code, no code. I'm all about scaling systems. They are gifting that for free for 1 year to the number one person. So it means any sale you make will be 100%, like over 100% ROI because you didn't invest anything, right? The Blaze Knowledge Academy is very, very robust. We offer courses there. We offer master classes there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's not my point. My point is we built it on Podia. So please understand that Podia is fire. I love Podia. And the exact plan that the number one winner will get is what we have. Yeah. Okay. The exact plan, y'all know this by now. I don't have to say it. For the newbies, I'm not gassing, okay? I would not lie to you. I have no reason to. The exact plan that the number one winner will get is what we have. And we have thousands of people in the Blaze Knowledge Academy. It was built on Podia, and you will get that exact same plan. I rock with Podia heavy. I would never talk about anybody that I don't rock with, nor would any business be on the stage that I don't rock with. So all of these people are vetted and true. Podia, is super dope. They're a super dope partner of ours in that Blaze is actually one of their top 3 communities on there. So I've literally spoken to all their other clients about, or not clients, but customers about, best practices for building community, et cetera. They have an article out there on us. I just found today. I didn't even realize we were in an article, but they were talking about all the things the Blaze community is doing inside of there. So shout out to them for valuing, right, what Black women bring. Even, I don't know what they did before this, right? But they did tap your girl and say, listen, sis, please, top 3, come on, talk to us, right? So that means a lot to me. So definitely use Podia. Also, because this is what Courtney did, obviously, because clearly she didn't win anything yet. Nobody did. Also, Podia has a free plan. They just rolled it out last Wednesday. Not lying, right? They told me about it several weeks before it came, just so I made sure I could tell my audience. Love Podia. Shout out to y'all. A free plan where you can do the following. I love Podia, so if you go there, I know you're in good hands. Where you can do the following. You can offer a community, pay or free, with the free plan. Catch me, okay? You can offer 1 download, okay? And you can offer 1, I think is coaching session, okay? You definitely can't do the course with the free plan. Okay, but you can definitely get started for free. There is no other platform out there that will give you this value for free. Okay, I'm talking about Thinkific, Kajabi, no shade, but I'm just being very honest. Okay, so you can create this, right? Because we're going to get into all the things right now. Y'all feel it. We are literally priming the well. We are getting inside of your mind, really helping you to birth these visions, to organize it, compartmentalize it, right? And you're going to hear from experts about starting a business. Literally after the DJ set, actually, we're going to be talking about entrepreneurship in Africa. I'm in Africa running my business. I want everybody who wants to do the same to do it. We're going to talk about community building, all this stuff. So y'all get Podia. The link is in the lobby. Click the link in the lobby. Click the link in the lobby. Click the link in the lobby to go over there and get your free plan. No catches. No catches. I will say one nuance. Y'all might not care about this, but for the plan that you pay for, right? So the one that the number one winner is going to get, they don't even take transaction fees. Again, crazy. Podia does all the things. If you get the free plan and you decide to charge for something, they will take a processing fee for that, right? So that's how they make money on the back end, but they let you create, build, et cetera, on the front end. I believe the processing fee is 8%. Okay, full disclosure. All right, cool. So, okay, I'm about to go to the DJ set, but I got to shout out the other people who are on the leaderboard because it's going to be 15 winners. All right, so shout out the top 3. Y'all are dope. Number 4, we have Andrea. Number 5, we have Tierra. I see you. 6, we have Aaliyah. 7, we have Shayla. 8, we have Samia. 9, we have Gina. 10, we have Wendy. 11, we have Chandra. 12, we have Demetria. 13, we have Monet. 14, we have Monique. And 15, we have Dejanay. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to share these on the feed just so y'all can see where this is, where people are. It's pasted in the feed so y'all can see it real quick. All right. So now we're going to go over to the DJ set. My girl, y'all's girl now, she JTO. All right. When's the rest of the day? Okay. I want to answer these questions because a lot of them, but we're going to go over there. Number 1, shoot. Demetria asks, when's the registration for the next Blaze Virtual Summit dropping? Come on, sis, December. We do it twice a year, every June and December. So you can start registering in November. It's always free. Tierra says, is Podia similar to the site we are on now? Great question. No, it is not. So Podia is not for hosting events. I'm saying it again. Podia is not for hosting events. Podia is for providing solutions, products, okay? So if you have downloads, if you have workbooks, if you have classes you want to teach virtually, if you have class recordings you want to just create and it's passive income as people buy it, if you want to house a community, right, where people live there and breathe there and post stuff there, you can do all of that on Podia. Podia has so much stuff and they're fire. I wouldn't vouch for them if they weren't, I promise. I'm going to get through these, y'all. Love y'all. All right, oops, I didn't mean to mark this answer, friend. Let me unmark it. Okay. Tiffany asks, can you use any virtual headset, or is it or has it to be from Meta, or does it have to be from Meta? I'm assuming you're talking about tonight, and I will say it might be the Meta one, but to check, just get the virtual headset and see if you can download Horizon Worlds. That's where you can find our world. Y'all, the ones who come in there tonight, y'all gonna be wild. Y'all gonna be tripping because literally we built it for free, and y'all can build it for free. And we built it in like 2 hours, okay? Literally holding your hand up in here. And we're gonna be playing cornhole and tic-tac-toe and darts and all kind of stuff. All right, cool. Last question. All right, Cherie asks, with Podia, do you own your website, the content on the website you build, or do they own it? Think Wix. And right in the chat, more color. Like when you say own, like what types of functionality or features or limitation? Because if you're just talking about branding, right, where you can't remove their logo. The plan that I have, right, and the plan that the #1 winner will have, you can remove their branding. We absolutely changed the URL. Like there's no indication that Podia is behind it. Like nobody knows that. You all know that. I mean, literally the Blaze people didn't know that. Some of my Blaze business intensive people know that because I literally teach them like, y'all go build this stuff all the time. I give a whole bunch of information about that. But nobody knows that, right? Now for the free plan, if you do the free plan, there will be branding down there, right? Because they leverage that as a way to market. Cherie says, you are on the right track with my, okay, girl. So yeah, but that being said, it is yours, right? You have literally with the free plan, you have the same exact functionality that I have with creating your website, the colors, the branding, all the things, right? The difference is the bottom of yours will have the Podia logo, which is fine, who cares? A lot of people, most people send out MailChimp emails with the MailChimp thing at the bottom, okay? And Acuity links to their calendar and Calendly links, and right after you register, they like sign up for Calendly. Come on now, So it's very common, that is fine. But yeah, you own the content, you create it. It is not overly, I'll just say regulated, for lack of a better word. You create what you want for your tribe, and all of the tribes are different. I know this personally because I've spoken to them, right? I've given them my best practices. So I know that there's a myriad of creators on there. All right, cool. All right, we're going to the DJ set. I'll see y'all on the other side. Peace.
ATO. Yeah. She's so dope. Gang. Pinky ring, we're about to be deep. Two-tone my Lambo, that's drippy. But I left the bottle, now she tipsy. Can't trust
Blaze Virtual Summit, vibe with me.
I know that your best friend gon' slide now. Party at my house, that's surviving now. All in all, these like LeBron now. She's spitting off the top, that's a freestyle. Hey, I'm about to run it up. I'm about to pull up in that motherfucking Billy truck. Got some bad bitches in it, about to beat up. And we take it over just to sum it up. Yeah, I need my commas, look. I ain't playing, man, I put that on my mama and shoot. 24 on the jersey just for mama and shoot. Vince Carter on the beat, I put my arm through the rim. It's your birthday, put your hands in the air, it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fuck, it's not your birthday. You should be throwing that back and
the hashtag scrolling. Make sure you tap in.
Yeah, we in the kitchen. You've been working out, girl, looking real tempting. The way you make it clap tonight, I might tell. It's your birthday. Put your hands in the air. It's your birthday, and you know we don't give a f. It's not your birthday. You should be doing that back in the first place. It's breezy, know you heard of me. Ooh yeah. Pinky ring, we're about to be deep. Two-tone my Lambo, that's drippy. Bottle after bottle, now she tipsy. Can't trust these 'cause they iffy. I know that your best friend gon' slide now. Party at my house, that's a vibe now. All in on these like LeBron now. He's sitting off the top, that's a freestyle.
GJTO. DJTO. She's so dope.
Lead up, got me thinking, babe. Tell me if you with it, 'cause I'm with it, babe. I haven't heard from you and I'm in it, babe. Just tell me what to do and I get it, babe. Gucci and Prada. Trip to your crib in the middle of the night. I know that you miss me 'cause I put it down right now, babe. I can put you on a flight. You know that a girl like me can change your life, oh, baby. Everything you do is amazing. Ain't nobody got you go crazy. I got what you need. Everybody think you shy, but I know you a freak, little baby. Everything you do is amazing. Ain't nobody got you go crazy. I got what you need. Everybody think you shy, but I know you a freak, little baby. I've been overseas going crazy. I could tell you love it when we made up. Black and gray diamonds like we're raid up. Orange peel, your love is real. Love and skills, I need some love and skills. Love at that draws and you love me still. Eyes come lazy, but she is real. Dressed to kill. Biggie bomb bomb, say it.
You got a request, tap in with me at CJTO.
I can't say you never switch your sides. You never tell me lies. Not rushing time, ties, yeah. Trip to your crib in the middle of the night. I know that you miss me 'cause I put it down right there, babe. I can put you on a flight. You know that a girl like me can change your life, oh, baby. Everything you do is amazing. Ain't nobody got you go crazy. I got what you need. Everybody think you shy, but I know you a freak, little baby.
What's up, girl? Ain't gotta ask it. I did them all now. How about the caskets? They should arrest you or whoever trusts you. Ain't gon' stress you, but I'ma let you know, girl. You be killing them. You be killing them, girl. You be killing them. You be killing them, girl. You be killing them. You be killing them, girl. You be killing them. You ain't gotta worry about her, shorty straight. Been chasing her for 2 days, first 48. Her bad cause, she worth every cent. She look like the best money that I ever spent. Just watching my cutie pie get beautified. Make me want better jewels, a newer ride. Louboutin shoes, she got too much pride. Her feet are killing her, I call it suicide. Looking good has its sacrifices. Chilly weather bring 4-figure jacket prices. Her body nice. FaceTime, give you that iPhone 4, FaceTime. Shorty in the streets, still handle the home. Enough class for wine, still handle Patron. When a mother call, I handle the phone, and she handle the tone. You what's up, girl? Ain't gotta ask it. I did them all now. How about the caskets? They should arrest you or whoever dress you. Ain't gon' stress you, but I'ma let you know, girl. You be killing them. You be killing them, girl. You be killing them. You be killing them, girl. You be killing them.
What we doing? Hashtag Blaze Virtual Summit Vibe with
DJTO. She's so dope.
we going up.
My one game, we ain't never leave. Counting up this money, we ain't never sleep. You got V12, I got 12 V's. Got bottles, got. I'm all the way. Shorty, what you want? I got what you need. Shorty, what you want? I got what you need. Shorty, what you want? I got what you need. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. All the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. For my Bentley coupes and Rolexes. Kicked the bitch out the room and gave her no breakfast. Had to stash the jewels, these so reckless. Keep my on cruise, I'm talking naughty uptown, showing off for new things. Couldn't take it all, so I gave her change. She called me top shot.
Vibe with me, you got a request, tap in at CJTO.
Few rings and I'm all the way up. And you can stay up. And if you ask anybody where I live, they point to the hills and say, go all the way up. Go all the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
Watch what we do with it.
CJTO. DJTO. She's so dope.
Two rollers on the wrist, I'm like, show Dan. Stop staring at my timepiece. Two hoes on the drip, I'm like, where your man? Stop staring at my side piece. Get your Dan. 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 Stop staring at my timepiece.
Only dance that I hit is the money dance. I don't move for nothing less than 100 bands. When it get to dripping and these ninnies start tipping, I'm a savage for the paper, hit the running man. Ruby Rose in a Rolls Royce looking at the stars. With that bag right beside me. I ain't tripping, I can have anything that I want. You and your side piece. Hit your dance, got you stiff in your pants. Ain't no ring on my hand, Ruby don't got a man. Look at your timepiece and clear all your plans. In the got a going crazy, he a fan.
I wonder if that's ready. I wonder if that's ready. That beat come in so hard and so nasty.
Two rollers on the wrist, I'm like, show Dan. Stop staring at my timepiece. Two hoes on the drip, I'm like, where your man? Stop staring at my side piece. Hit your dance.
Hit your dance.
Hit your dance.
Hit your dance.
Hit your dance. Hit your dance. Hit your dance. Stop staring at my timepiece.
It's the CJ, DJTO.
She's so dope.
I'ma hit you back in a minute. I'ma hit you back in a minute.
What we doing?
I'ma hit you back in a minute. I'ma hit you back in a minute. Why men great till they gotta be great? Woo. I just took a DNA test, turns out I'm 100% deaf. Even when I'm crying crazy, yeah, I got boy problems, that's the human in me. Bling bling, then I solve them, that's the goddess in me. Could I had a bad knock a middle, help you with your career, just a little. You're supposed to hold me down, but you're holding me back, and that's the sound. I mean, not calling you back. Why men great till they gotta be great? Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press, get you out of my hair. Fresh photos with the bomb lighting. New man on the Minnesota Vikings. True hurts me.
Vibe with me, hashtag Blaze Virtual Summit. Hey.
Break my heart, oh that breaks my heart. That you thought you ever had it, oh you ain't from the start. Hey, I'm glad you're back with you. I mean, who would wanna hide this? I will never, ever, 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 ever be your side chick. I put the sting in single, ain't worried about a ring on my finger, so you can tell your friend. Shoot your shot when you see him. It's okay, he already in my DM. Why men great till they gotta be great? Don't text me, tell it straight to my face. Best friend set me down in the salon chair. Shampoo press, get you out of my hair. Fresh photos with the bomb lighting. New man on the Minnesota
Vibe with me, watch where we go with it.
needed something more exciting.
What we going, hey? Bring it up, ladies, vibe with me.
They call me Megatron, just did a telethon. He got my jealous on, and I get my jealous on. I f him like I miss him. He just came out of prison. He talking, but they ain't got a pot to piss in. My name is Nikki M. I'm in a sticky Benz. That mean it's candy apple red. I'm Barbie, this is Ken. That is a Fendi fact. I'm with 100 max. Oh, this is custom made. Donatella sent me that. Fill up, baby, fill on me. Pull up if you're feeling lonely. Fill up, baby, fill on me. Pull up if you're feeling lonely. Shots, I'm drinking. It's better when I'm drinking. I tune up when I'm drinking. Rum when I'm
I can put you in a log cabin somewhere in Aspen. Girl, ain't nothing to the pain, ain't tricking if you got it what you asking for. Put you in a mansion somewhere in Wisconsin. Like I said, ain't nothing to the pain, we can change that last name. What's happening? Cause you look so good. Tell me why you wanna work here. I put you on the front page of a King magazine, but you gon' get yourself hurt here. Hey, baby, I brought you in the back just to have a conversation. Really think you need some ventilation. Let's talk about you and me. Oh, I can't believe it. Ooh, ooh, she all on me, me. I think she want me. Nah, I can't even lonely. Nah, ooh, I can't believe it. Ooh, ooh, she all on me, me. I think she want me. Nah, I can't even lonely. Nah, and you don't understand. She make the people say yeah, yeah, yeah. She make the man say, she make the people say yeah.
Tonight I'ma let you be the captain. Tonight I'ma let you do your thing, yeah. Tonight I'ma let you be a rider. Giddy up, babe. Tonight I'ma let it be fire. Tonight I'ma let you take me higher. Tonight, baby, we could get it on, yeah. We could get it on, yeah. Do you like it, boy? Want what you want. Give it to me, baby, like boom, boom, boom. What I want is what you want. Nah, nah. Come here, rude boy, can you get it up? Come here, rude boy, is you big enough? Yeah, baby, yeah. Come here, rude boy, can you get it up? Come here, rude boy, is you big enough? Yeah,
It's the DJ T.O.
She's so dope. Vibe with me. What we doing? Ladies, rock with me.
Body crazy, curvy, wavy, big, body, body, how body that, ate it up and gave it back. It look good, but they still wanna know we're making it.
We gonna do it like this. It's Friday. Vibe with me.
See me in that dress and he felt like he almost tasted that. Num, eat it up. Go play okay, 3, 2, 1. You know I'm the hottest. You ain't never gotta hit me if I'm present when I'm absent. Speaking when I'm not there. Call them scary cats, I call them Carol Baskin. Body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. Body crazy, curvy, wavy, big, little wavy.
DJ T.O. She's so dope.
Okay, she wobbly, make her own it. Okay, she private, she make her own it. And she a little stripper with some big rippers. If you throw that same homo feet around and tip it, what's your cash out? Hey, I seen anything you want to see that clap. Hey, come here. Hey, what's your cash out? Hey, I seen anything you want to see that clap. What it is? I want to see that pussy popping this a hill. It ain't nothing to a boss to pay a bill. I heard you got some good that how I feel. Yeah, how I feel. I'm a big baller, big shot caller, big lips on ya. I just wanna do you swallow.
This how we feeling this Friday. Vibe with me.
Drink on ice, can you swallow the ball? Bounce that I bounce, make a nigga like me wanna come and drop the bag. Cash out with no limit, I'm the gold. Come here, baby, I just wanna see you rock the boat. Yeah, okay, she wobbly, make her big on it. Okay, she private, she make her own it. And she a little stripper with some big rippers. If you throw that same homo feet around and tip it, what's your cash out? Hey, I seen anything you want to see that clap. Hey, come here. Hey, what's your cash out? Hey, I seen anything you want to see that clap.
for the shake. I said on the floor, bring it back up. Hit a split on the shot it at act. Bring it back, 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 bring it back. You can add, 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 you can add. Concrete. She can shake it. One cheek, two cheek, both cheek. They got a white girl for
She got no cheek.
They got a police on a short leash. She got good, now she got no teeth. She a dog, she with it. Man, see the way she works, she super dead with it. Hey, well, throwing salt, tell her get it. Started playing with her, tell her split it. I just wanna if you with it, you cute, you shot cute. Running in the like a crash dump, right? Bend it over, touch your toe, shake that for the shake. I said on the floor, bring it back up. Hit a split on the shot it at.
I told you it's Friday. We on this level, right? We on this vibe right here.
You ain't with it, got the company, me load up in the truck. You know what's up, we decide we're universal and we got the clubs. So put your head between your legs and touch your toes, bounce your booty up and down. Ooh, girl, there you go, want to walk like a model. If you an independent woman, maybe I'm a holler. You got to have kicks nice with the clothes tight. You wanna shake it like a dog and do it all night. Now assume your position, get it right, put your hands in the air. Want to make it, this fight up top of top. You know what I'm about? I wanna see you turn around and stick your booty out. Your booty out. No limit. Top, top, top us all. Top of style. Top, top. They want top, top. They love top, top. They want top, top. They love top, top. They want top of style. Top, top, top us all. Top of style. Top, top. They want top, top. They love top, top. They want top, top. They love top, top. Hold up, check this out.
Vibe with me. Watch where we go with it. Let me know when you checking in right now. Tap in. CJTO on the gram.
Hit the club for the girls looking pretty. Big butts with them little bitty waists. Ghetto fab look just like a waitress. Red bone name was on ya. Roxanne Monica put it on ya. It ain't no limit to the change I got. You see the Bentley on the 20s in the parking lot. Hit a C-N-3. That's all I need. Back it up, don't stop. Hit the flow, make it drop. Rock the boat, 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 rock it go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Oh, baby, come on, you go wobble with it. Oh, baby, come on, you go hustle with it.
I told y'all we was gonna have some fun with it today. It's Friday. Told y'all we ain't playing out today. It's Friday, baby. Blaze Virtual Summit.
a lane. See the cutie cat, it look pretty fat. And tell the boys to come close, watch me push it back. Those girls looking cute, shaking our stuff. Some boys standing back looking at us. Shaking that, let me break it down. The minute Eve coming through, you better watch out. Shake it, tambourine, go, get yourself a whistle. Shake it, tambourine, go, get yourself a whistle. Shake it, tambourine, go, get yourself a whistle. Shake it, tambourine, go, get yourself a whistle.
I'm gonna give you a second, catch your breath, get right. It's Friday, baby. We gonna party today. Blaze Virtual Summit, that's the hashtag, and of course, SUJTO on everything.
This is how we do it.
It's Friday.
Night, and I feel alright. The party's here on the west side. So I reach for my 40 and I turn it up. Designated driver, take the keys to my truck. Hit the shop cause I'm faded. Honey's in the streets, say money, yo, we made it. It feels so good in my hood tonight. The summertime skirts and the guys ain't canine. All the gangbangers forgot about the drive-by. You gotta get your groove on before you go get paid. So tip up your cup and throw your hands up. And
Let me hit a party. I go.
kind of buzz when it's all because this is how we do it. South Central does it like nobody does. This is how we do it. To all my neighbors, you got much flavor. This is how we do it. Let's flip the track to the old school back. This is how we do it. I go on and on. I go on and on. I go on and on. Can't understand how it lasts so long. I go on and on. I go on and on. I go on and on. Can't understand how it lasts so long. I go on and on. I go on and on. I go on and
DJ
on.
T.O., she's so dope.
I go on and on. Can't understand how I last so long. I must have the superpowers. Last 223,000 hours. And it's cause I'm off of CC. And I'm off the Hennessy. And like your boy from Compton said, you know this ain't free. I got girls that I should've made pay for it. Got girls that I should've made wait for it. I got girls that'll cancel a flight back home. Stay another day for it. You got attitude on nana, yo. On agua, and yo. Stomach on flat, and yo. On what's that? And yeah, I need it all right now. Last year I had drama, girl, not right now. I would never go and chat what we talking about. You the only one I know can fit. Man, I always wonder if you ask yourself, is it just me? Is it just me? Or is this so good I shouldn't have to for free? Is it just me? Yeah, is it just me? Is this so good I shouldn't.
I've been feeling freaky deaky. You're on your way, see me. Got the mirror on the ceiling. You're in the mood to please me. I've been feeling freaky deaky. You're on your way, see me. Got the mirror on the ceiling. You're in the mood to please me.
My little shorty always on time. I pick you up, come outside, take you for a ride. Body like December, on summertime. Take off the top, sweet Caroline. Meet my jeweler, put ice on that. Ay, 2 diamond chains, what's the price on that? When you work, what you work, I invest in that. Yeah, itty bitty waist, but you're so fat. Let me slide in and Wayne Gretzky. Let me see it bounce, nigga, just ski. Ay, I know you wishing he was like me. Like late night calling me for some good. Ay.
Feeling freaky deaky. You're on your way to see me. Got the mirror on the ceiling. You're in the mood to please me. I've been feeling freaky deaky. You're on your way to see me. Got the mirror on the ceiling. You're in the mood to please me. Yeah.
Back it up,
Back it up, back it up, back it up for you.
I wanna see you back it up.
Say I can back it up, back it up, back it so I do it all night. Boy, give me a show and put the on nice. Keep your eyes shut, I'ma go tough. He don't want an if or an and just but. Don't get me a miss or a man, just stop. Boy, just let me switch up on your. Cause we they all make love. Just come over, I'm all messed up. All on my tongue. Cause freaky deaky, you're on your way to see me. Got the mirror on the ceiling. You're in the mood to please me. I've been feeling freaky deaky. You're on your way to see me. Got the mirror on the ceiling. You're in the mood to please me.
Black Barbie, perfect and you know it. I raise the stakes for you and bet all it. Put some respect on my name, I get you pop. Yeah. Don't leave a girl around me, I got options. Yeah. Ain't no stopping the ball, she wanna take it off for me in a new Dior. Wanna touch it, wanna grab it, wanna lick it, wanna ride it. I get so infatuated, and erotic with you.
What it do? It's your boy Baby Jesus, aka the Baby, the hottest thing smoking in the Carolinas right now. Sending a very special shout out to my girl DJ T.O., Carolina's #1 female DJ.
Stop. Notice how I looked you in your eye. Let's go. Next time, get. If you really love me like a thought, if you really let me do what I say, when you get me, let me dead in my
Blaze Virtual Summit, vibe with me. Let's go.
My love, she's a masterpiece. I ain't even gotta be funny when I'm telling no jokes. She still gon' laugh at me. Still suck my when she mad at me. Let him make me mad, you see. I nod my head in this, them gon' slide on your for me. Bust down, Cartier, new masterpiece. My love, she's a masterpiece. I ain't even gotta be funny when I'm telling no jokes. She still gon' laugh at me. Still suck my when she mad at me. Let her make me mad, you see. I nod my head in this, them gon' slide on your for me. Bust down, Cartier, new master. Lay down the mask, lay down the mask, lay down the mask.
DJ T.O. She's so dope.
Yeah, both of them bad to Diddy. Yeah, shake it, go. No, I'm not needing to pass the cities. I'm in the view with Monique. Got some playing in the well. TTJ went got some brand new help. I know I had to find bad at me, but you can't turn up without baby. Now I got them like she want to link with her bestie and turn up. Want to link with her bestie and turn up. Some got that and all of them pretty.
Got that bag and all did it. She told me she hit me, I come to the city. I'm trying to go shopping, I'm bragging no winning. My cup of that she the Henny. Party, I'm spinning the bottle. Freaking, I let when I'm tweaking, I'm giving them all up. She wanna take a pic on the iPhone, can't get in it, I never once hit it. You know how these people be thinking. We can stay to this friend, they gon' say that we around. At the loft it up before I lay it down. Uber eat them too, gotta break it down. We gon' smoke out the gotta break it down. I wake up and get dressed, then I run it up. And I brought her up, won't come to here. Don't tell me no when I talk to her. Around I get mad and I beat you up. Took her right from my ex and my vet, had to snatch her. Had to look at the calendar. 20 M's at I think I ain't rich enough. 2 M's in real estate. Gotta buy me some more, I be building my list. Late night with the baddest, they all can get it 100% if I'm feeling her.
Yeah, both of them bad Diddy. Yeah, shake it, go. No, I'm not needing to pass the cities. I'm in the view with Monique. Got some playing in the well. TTJ went got some brand new help. I know I had to find bad at me, but you can't turn up without baby. Now I got them like. I like them nasty, bougie, ratchet, yeah, nasty. Really won't talk. I know she ain't finna ask. Got me sitting in the car, all this ice on hitting in the dark. Big pretty whip don't make no sense. Gotta have somebody hop out to put the park. Damn, I can't lie, I be doing too much. You caught me in the room, you keep it real, don't you lie to me, baby. Keep it real, but it's only if I'm in the mood. I feel a little extra today. I think one of them be born, so I'ma need two. On me and that stick, got both thinking on me and this lick. Going baby like yeah, both of them bad deal. Shaking that, go. No, I'm not needing to pass the seals. I'm in the view with the blammer with Monique. Got some playing in the well. TTJ went got some brand new help. I know I had to find bad at me, but you can't turn it out, baby. Now I got them like.
It's the CJ, DJ T.O.
She's so dope.
Yeah, push it, click, click. Yeah, pop up on the up, watch it, blick, blick. Yeah, want a bad bitch like me, keep on wishing, baby. Bust it open first, you got to kiss it, baby. Yeah, want another, I go fishing, baby. Yeah, I never let these broke ass fix me, baby. Yeah, I hop on top it, ride that, acted lazy. Get the soak it wet, it's dripping like the Navy. Yeah, I call him Big Daddy, he call me little baby. They know I'm the.
You gotta request tap in with me at CJTO.
I'm a different color. I done ran up all these commas. Eat the cookie like another butter. Lick this like just la. I didn't think she a Bahama mama. Do whatever for $1. Gucci snake up on my collar. That DJ never get up on my number. Push it, click, click.
Hold up. Bad as hell and she thick. Hold up. Pop that like a clip. She in school but she strip. Use 2 hands when she eat the oh, I'm trying to hit a whole click. Head down, up when she pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, yeah, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, yeah, pop it, pop it.
It's Friday, we popping it today. You got a request, tap in at CJTO. Let's go.
Pop it, come on. Pop that, make that, buy you something and say you bought that. Say you scammed up on the butter, ran up on the plug. Now that poking out, everybody wanna hug. She told her friend, record me while I pop my friend said, okay, friend, make that money. Lashes, nails, and wig done, all of that and then some. Diamond watch, diamond choker, diamond by her eardrum.
Pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, yeah, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, yeah, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it. If you a bad, pop that on your pop.
Go drop it right now for me. Then pop it right here on me. Whoa. I'm big bag Mr. Money. Won't profit, nothing else. Only say she just like dance, but as she twerking, she a stripper low key. I can barely walk, my knees weak. Just got some from OD. Won't go live without her so in. But get naked and her close friend. See her backside from the front end. Casamigo, Ocean. Give me sloppy toppy. You might get a watch from wifey. Put you in a Benz or something. Take you out of that jalopy bag.
Pop it. Pop it, pop it, pop it, yo, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, yo, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it. If you a bad, pop it on your pop. Pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, yo, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, yo, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it. If you a bad, pop it on your pop.
Keep your eyes on me. Apply that. Get it, don't be timid when you in it, apply that. Love upon it, live alone, need it. I don't want no drip, baby, spray like it's really so fine. It's spicy, baby, jump up on this. I guess that's why you like it, baby, come and get this. Takes a lot to excite me, baby, give it all you got. I'm a tough cookie, baby, get the right side. Why you texting me, you know I won't reply. Why you ain't with me when I wasn't this fly? Now I'm on top and now I'm riding sky. Don't need nobody, but I'll take you down tonight. And now I'm okay with being nasty. Too fucking hot for all these clothes anyway. My body dripping, boy, but you gon' have to wait. But when you get it, lick it like a candy cane. Keep your eyes on me, apply. Get it, don't be timid when you in it, apply. Love upon it, live alone and leave it. Say I don't want no drip, baby, spray it like you need it. So fine, spicy, baby, jump up on this. I guess that's why you like it, baby, come and get this. Takes a lot to excite me, baby, give it all you got. I'm a tough cookie, baby, get the right side. Pop it, baby, twist it, honey. Do it like you mean it, darling. Keep it coming, ooh, keep it running. Leave it messy, go ahead and live in it. Swim up in it, pop it, baby, twist it, honey. Do it like you mean it, darling. Keep it coming, ooh, keep it running. Leave it messy, go ahead and live it. Swim up in it, keep your eyes on me, apply. Get it, don't be timid when you in it, life. Love upon, live alone, leave it. Say I don't want no drip, baby, spray it like you mean it.
Big old freak, big booty, big old trick. I'ma make him wait for the cook. Wait, hit it in these big old feet on the bed. I mess him up in the head. Kiss it, then look in his eyes. Then the next day I might leave him on red. Pop it, daydreaming by hot rocket. He hit my phone with a horse, so I know that me come over and ride it. Right, I'm on the way. Ride on that thing, I'm like, hey. Usually I like to cut, but tonight we gon' make love 'cause you play. Nobody know. I be with him on the low. We never show up together, but I text him when I'm ready to go. I had a couple of shots at the bar. I'm finna play with that thing in the car. I got him swerving and breaking the law. These windows tinted so nobody saw. Ain't nobody crip like me. Nope. Get what you need like me. Nope. Ain't nobody got up on their tiptoes and roll to the tip like me. I got him addicted, he fiending. My body a drug and he need it. He begging me for the treat, begging me. He throw a fit when I leave him. He like, baby, let me rub on you. Like a little love from you. My body addictive, it's driving him crazy. I feel I gotta run from you. Don't know what to do without it. He messing with you, I doubt it. They don't understand that I'm all in his head and there's nothing to do with my body. I'ma give you what you crave. I'm a big, I'm from a next, so these I'm on rich. And I don't need shit. Big ass stack in this purse, so these gon' work. And I'm holding this guy got burn. Gotta hold that L, tryna come for my pen. I'm really finna make another M. Now tell me how the fuck I'm in the wrong if I don't want the and he still ain't fucking with the bitch. I be working, I make moves in silence. Hope I ain't never like me and I'm fine with it. Nasty, I'm a real fantasy. I'll drop dead for a broke, handle me. Do say, this rich energy. Y'all still drinking that Hennessy. Messy, and I'm sick of y'all trying it. Big RC's but ain't never finna buy. Sorry, say me cause I'm the it girl. I ain't never asked to be the shit girl. Don't call me sis cause I'm not your sister. You really need to come and get your mister. Seeing all my ops linked up in a picture. Everybody look busted, injured. Like on my page, probably want a scissor. All in the mouth like I kissed her. Working, I make moves in silence. Hope I ain't never like me and I'm fine with it. Nasty, I'm a real fantasy. I'll drop dead for a broke, handle me. Do say, this rich energy. Y'all still drinking that Hennessy. Messy, and I'm sick of y'all trying it. Big RC's but ain't never finna buy. Bad bitches running my pack. Gang, Cartier frames, spot up, do some lame broke all in my way. Clear 'em. Chains ain't making no noise, they ain't big enough. Wildin' on the boat on the island. When I throw it back, better make 'em throw the tile in. But I don't need one. He up, I'ma have my fun. Teacup, I can fit a bitch in my purse. Which one of y'all wanna go first? Spicy, ain't it y'all built like me? I run probably how I gotta deal with Nike. Beefin', you just mad we ain't speaking. And I'm the one that put the roof where you sleep in. Phony, I don't need no new homies. I'm the reason all of my ops ain't homeless.
Yo, what's up? It's the kid, Young Gunna, and right now I'm rocking out with DJ T.O., Carolina's #1 female DJ.
She banking on me on the bank. I smack her, she love to get spanked. I tackle her, love to wrestle. Young bachelor, we love to play. So come out when I move the drapes. Know my move when I grab your waist. Know you a man that's made. Hey, keep it low key, she ain't after fame. No, she ain't after fame. You ain't like that old I used to be. You don't have nothing to say. Don't care about no cuffing, you wanna keep busting it. Don't let me know when you came. I love you in so many ways. Don't know why you never
hit the hashtag Blaze
complain.
Virtual
With you, I
Summit.
can never be
Talk to
shamed.
us. We all over social media at CJTO.
And I usually never say never. Look at me today. Lay your vibe, I don't need no sage. Hey, club cold and you call it glaze. Good sex, that ain't all we made. Wanna get tired of you. I'm in the box and we're at the top and we got us an ocean view. I know I got it, I'm all in the body and nobody got a clue. We in the coupe pulling up, boy, the private at G5 for only two. I really like it, I wanna stay excited, don't wanna get tired of you. Wanna get tired of you. You wake up and you wanna go shopping. Pick out a car, you got too many options. Bubblegum baby, yeah, you got it poppin'. Love what you do for the poppin'. Kilo, I'm all in my food, you suck and slappin'. You like the queen of the moppin'. Soon as I come, she keep sucking on one of the stoppin'. Regan, I'm breaking, I'm backing, I'm stroking. I see why they cause a commotion. Hitting that looking at views of the ocean. Up, wet as an ocean. None of the business, I'm boxed by the way I'm approaching. Fuck on the one that you chosen. East to the west, we just really been coasting. Me and the baby in motion. Wanna get motion.
DJ T.O., she's so dope.
Straightening, yeah. Straightening, yeah. Don't nothing get straightening but straightening. Don't nothing get straightening but straightening. Don't nothing get straightening but straightening. You don't get straight, you don't straighten it. In this game, sit back, be patient. Act like the game went vacant. Act like some been taken. What? Ain't nothing but a little bit of straightening. Been kicking, been popping out daily. On the island, it's a movie I'm making. I'm counting the Neros with Robert De Niro. He telling them that you're amazing. Put that on. Get on. I bought 2 whips and I put my boot on. She put this wrist on. She factory said it went rich and meal prone. Turn a pandemic into a pandemic. You know that we on. Them gon' pull up and L at this together. Won't get what you homes. I don't do the fake kicking. There go a rocket, it's taking it. It's a problem with you, then we straightening it. Swap out the cap, put a demon in it. Upgrade the band up, put fiends in it. I got some shooters you seen with me. We're running back, I just seen tenant. We going to get straight. Straightening. Yeah. Straightening. Yeah. Don't nothing get straightening but straightening.
You got a request, talk to me at CJTO and everything. Hashtag Blaze Virtual Summit. Welcome. We only halfway through. The party still goes on. It's hashtag Blaze Virtual Summit everywhere.
Yeah. Wow. I'm too sexy for this syrup. Too sexy for your girl. Too sexy for this world. Too sexy for
One
this
time for
ice.
Casey. Shout out to the
Too
Blaze
sexy for
Group
that jack.
LLC. What up?
Yeah, I'm too sexy for this chain. Too sexy for your game. Too sexy for this fame. Yeah, I'm too sexy for the trap. Too sexy for that cap. Too sexy for that jack. Yeah.
Okay, alright, that's fine. Okay, I'm feeling too sexy to accept requests. Way too sexy. And I'm way too sexy to go unprotected. Way too sexy. And she popped a Tesla, now she gonna let you. Okay, alright, that's fine. Okay, think we got too sexy for that metro housing. Way too sexy. Diamond popped out, almost swallowed 60,000. 60 pieces. Section need more things in here, I like it crowded. Hey, whoa. Yeah, I like it crowded. Oh, you like the boy? Well, tell me what you like about him. You a turned a little thotty, ain't no wife about it. I'm a friends and send her back to metro housing.
Yeah. I'm too sexy for this syrup. Too sexy for your girl. Too sexy for this world. Too sexy for this ice. Too sexy for that jack. Yeah. I'm too sexy for this chain. Too sexy for your game. Too sexy for this fame. Yeah. I'm too sexy for the trap. Too sexy for that cap. Too sexy for that jack. Yeah. I pop out, get ghosts on the. You don't know where I went. Pray for all my dogs, all my behind the fence. Dripping in it, I spilling in a new designer gear by Coaster. Pay attention to the detail, going two-tone on choker. Young always ready to murk, some call them some smokers. Young have emotion, you don't make sure the car gets hit a 360 windmill when I left the scene. That's that action, her best work on her knees. Too sexy for this cash, too sexy for this serve, too sexy for these pills, I'm too sexy for this. I get cash wherever I fly, got texting on me. Money, cars, and all the jewelry, make a bill of sexy. I get cash wherever I fly, got texting on me. Yeah, I'm too sexy for this syrup, too sexy for your girl, too sexy for this world, too sexy for this ice, too sexy for that jack. Yeah.
Put it on. Straight up.
DJTL.
Straight up, street to a penthouse. Straight up, street to a penthouse, Miami Beach. Yeah. Talk crazy on tweet. Don't want it cause I come to defeat. I don't want it. I peek, these niggas all sweet. Bamboo sticks all in the Jeep. It's a new weirdo every week. Get the what, put it up for my seeds. No cure for the IG disease. Do anything for clout. They do anything for clout. Do anything for clout. They do anything for clout. Do anything for clout. They do anything for clout. Do anything for clout. Watch your mouth. Stay in your place. Get out the way. My bitch on your Kim K. No disrespect. Be trippin', but we love, yeah. Swapping out cars with my. I bought her the Lambo, she bought me the Wraith. Swap it. Practice, make perfect. It's never too late. Never. I take the out of the snake. I take the soul out the snake. Then I see the bills up out of the bank. The blog and the media fake. Shawty DM me, I'm straight. I'm not gon' bite on the bait. Sippin' no toxic waste. On the low with your bitch and it's great. Mask on the face, Jason. Roger this that we in shape. If I go broke, she gon' leave, escape. She gone. I put $2 million in the safe, just in case. Don't go my way. No cap, my kids gotta have money, not just me. It's selfish. Ooh, I take the crown off the king like Mike did Elvis. Ooh, I took it. Ooh, the world is wild, he dying, no lie, that don't help him. World is wild. Ooh, you wanna eat up the drip and you cannot help it. Yeah, yo. They don't wanna.
Put it up.
I appreciate y'all vibing with me thus far. I go by the name of DJ T.O. at SheJTL on all social media. Tap in with me and make sure you use the hashtag Blaze Virtual Summit.
Money color peacock, thuggin' in my Reebok. Cut the dreads and relock. Butt the feds, I butt the feds. Butt the feds and link up. I'ma see what my diamonds link up. Gotta despise the free lunch. I don't want nothing free. Bring me a Cardi B. Nickname Cardiac. Making it hard to match. I whipped me a harder bet. I took every loss. I knew I was gon' win for the battle. Young been the crazy crew. They be playing with the devil. Like attitude, you like the same to the devil. Keep the stick like crazy glue, but I had to put it together. Moose ain't baby blue, I blew more chains than the leather. Young move like Baby Ruth, you know I swam with a middle. Deja vu, I've been upgraded from hell. I got the finger phone booth, I'm getting through the details. You say name, boo, I hit the trap with a special. Like the New York Times, you squad, you gon' play with a step. Megan, you know you ain't created that anthem. See, I'd rather go blind, swear, ain't trying to see the details. You say name, boo, I ran it up in my shell. You say name, baby, you say name, boo. You say name, boo, I'm coming fast when I'm in him. You in that bathing suit, I'ma have some problems when I get him. You in that bathing suit, I'ma buy some condoms before I get him. You in that bathing suit, okay? You in that bathing suit. All they like a limit, but the engine came up out of it. You saying that and boom across the track, like I'm a Haitian bat. Kangaroo the trap, jumping junkies coming back. Me and Fredo, think we smoking. Even when we ain't together, we together, baby. That's anyway. Ain't never met no bitch who ride it just like Dejanay. Go that you better not play, make it safe that one my mama sage. And Kobe, you the realest, you my boo, LMA. You say anime, baby, pay the rent. Off the spread phone, everything baby and blue. I'm smoking deuce like I'm Bigelow. Bing, 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 bing. I'm on beans, bing, bing, bing. I hit her once, she gon' clean. Bing, 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 call that box, turn the murder ball. Bing, 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 you coming here, coming off. Chicken and sticking and rolling and geeking, chicken and sticking and rolling and geeking, chicken and sticking and rolling and geeking, chicken and sticking, rolling and geeking. Sticking and rolling and geeking, chicken and sticking and rolling and geeking, chicken and sticking and rolling and geeking, rolling and geeking, rolling and geeking, rolling and geeking.
DJ T.O. She's so dope.
It's the DJ T.O.
She's so dope. I don't wish for my success, I speak it. I caught a buzz and you did too, but you tweaking. I look like I've been getting money, how reeking. You smell me, that's LV. Walk around with my chest out and my skin smooth, I'm healthy. I'm in the mix and I'm handshaking, but most of y'all can't help me. Most of y'all ain't wealthy. Most of y'all just dress like it. I caught the vibe that y'all giving off and I'm trying to make myself less like it. This chick got a little Porsche body, I might let the bro test drive it. It's hard for me to get excited. I love music and stress about it. My city haunting, I'm co-signing this wave coming up next out it.
One time for Alicia on the check-in. Casey was popping. Blaze Group LLC. Hey.
Like, what's up? I got stakes and they too high now, I can't fuck up. I like girls that's down to earth, so don't be stuck up. I don't take L's, I give them out and I chuck them up. First listen, they hearing this like what the f. 10 toes, that's my MO. Fam over gram, that's my MO. Close friends, I got friends that I keep close and they let it go while I reload. Like, bow, bow, bow. TSA just opened my book bag up and my chain hitting like, bow, bow, bow. The King's back in his hometown when them wheels hit and I touch down, nigga. She down low, 3-point stance. I'm back there doing jack dance like.
You're now in the mix with DJ T.O.
Pointers in the paddock in my piece. I'm pushing P.
Cop new hammers for my P. We don't want no peace.
Got a spot across the spot, just for peace.
Drop the data, now we plotting exotic peas. She not a lesbian, P, she turned lesbian. Push P.
I'm pushing P. On capital P, I write these president, count presidents.
Push P.
Portuguese on her knees, mopping down a P. She let me squeeze and she leave, cause she keep a P.
Private suite, privacy, I'm pushing P.
Purple paint, pink. I'm pushing P.
Push P.
I'm pushing P.
Push P.
I'm pushing P.
Yeah. Push P.
I'm pushing P.
Push P.
I'm pushing P.
Yeah.
I pop a P. I'm paranoid. I can't sleep. My pockets deep. Got rest on me. Why they watching me? I'm pushing P. I'm pushing P.
Push P.
I'm pushing P.
Yeah.
Okay, bought a P, not a pill of Porsche.
Push P.
3 P's, popcorn, Porsche.
Push P.
I just cup of water. I did. Push a P, red bandana, Cardinals. I'ma P you out your whole endorsement. Yeah. She ain't vanilla for me, she simply porcelain. I
never saw ops, now we finally touched. She ready to get in the streets for me, no question. Too rich to text, I let my shoulder forward it. Take the P at the alphabets, try to sort it. I'm pushing P, I'm pushing P, I'm pushing P, pushing P, I'm pushing P.
All right, we got a few more minutes. It's Friday. We got to go up. We're going to throw it back a little bit.
I'm pushing P.
Chicken, chicken, chicken head. Chicken, chicken, chicken head. Chicken, chicken.
I want to have some fun with it right now. Tap in at Blaze Group LLC at SheJTO.
Chicken, chicken.
Don't forget to use that hashtag Blaze Virtual Summit. Hashtag Blaze Virtual Summit.
Chicken, chicken head. Chicken, chicken, chicken heads. Chicken, chicken, chicken heads. Chicken, chicken, chicken heads. Bald head, scallywag. Ain't got no hair in bag. Jail dub, beat up. Your hair is messed up. Need to get bout. Up a submission. Get up on loop. Run to petition. Run game until the game is gravy. That don't mean spin. Chief of the baby. On the stalk for a bootleg. Pretty walk, giving out head. Ain't a thing. Eat a chicken wing. Got some gold teeth at the good. Try to shake that thing. Try to get a piece. Chicken, always. Into some duns. Should've paid your light bill. You bought an outfit. Stay at your mammy house and keep a smart mouth. It's Project Pat, Memphis 10 represents the South. So pass the and we gon' stay kicking. Full of that mo. Holla at a chicken. Chicken, chicken, chicken heads. Chicken, chicken.
I told you we gonna have some fun with it real quick.
Chicken, chicken, chicken heads. 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 Chicken, chicken.
Where we going? I just want to do some throwbacks. I want to have some fun with y'all. It's Friday. It's the Blaze Virtual Summit. DJTO, Blaze Group LLC. Vibe with me.
She's like you, and girl, you know it's true. I knock the boots with you, so what you come on through? And ain't no telling what I'm gonna do, girl, you know man. No, girl, you know man. No, girl, you know man.
You know we gotta let this one ride. We gotta hear from the Queen. Trina, what's poppin'? Hey, yo.
Done been to places I've been. Who can spend the grand that I spend? Do about 5 or 6 best friends, and you don't know now. That's off the chain like me. That'll fuck the thing like me. Oh, look off the thing like me. Now you don't know now. That'll say I'm more than me, and you don't know now. That'll make you like me, and you don't know now. Who done tried all types of stuff? You know that I like it rough, and I won't stop till I get enough. Now you don't know now. That'll keep it hot like me, keep you coming back like me. How you feeling like Joe to see? Now you don't know now. That'll get it down on the dime. Who love to freak all the time? One who's sexy better than mine. Now you don't know now. And so what?
See that? That's how my mama got pregnant. Being married. You gon' learn. You gon' learn. You off the chain, little mama. You gon' learn. But I got to teach you. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
It's the CJ, DJTO.
She's so dope.
Grown ups. In between. Churning babies. Right about now. It's your boy. You heard back again. DJ Manny. Fresh. Yeah. Fresh.
Vibe with me, DJTO at SheJTO on social media.
Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, that's my DJ, go DJ, yeah. When Weezy we step up to the mic, dude, do what you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you have here is brought to you courtesy of the young man, Young Carter, and the great man, Manny Fresh. So what I want y'all out there to do for me is say this, say go DJ, cause that's my DJ. Say go DJ, cause that's my DJ. Say go DJ, cause that's my DJ. Say go DJ, cause that's my. You heard a 101. The hottest under the sun. I come from under the Tommy, bustin' a Tommy. You come from under your garments, your chest and your arm hit. Pow, one to the head. Now you know he did. Now you know I play like a pro in the game. Nah, better yet, a veteran, a Hall of Fame. I got that medicine, I'm better than all the names. Hey, it's Cash Money Records, man, a lawless gang. Put some water on the track, fresh for all this flame. Wear a helmet when you bang it, man, and guard your brain. Cause the flow is spasmodic, what they call insane. They ain't even my muff, aim, I get dope, boy. And you already know that pimpin' 18, I'm living young and show that Bentley. Stun on my paw, so you know that's in me. Got in my mentor, so don't go there with me. Oh, DJ, cause that's my DJ. Say go DJ, cause that's my DJ. This is the car. Say go DJ, cause that's my DJ. Say go DJ, cause that's my
CJTO.
That's right. I go by the name of DJ T.O. at SheJTO on all social media. I appreciate y'all rocking with me for this whole hour. If you've been here the whole hour for a little while, it don't matter. I appreciate you rocking with me. Thank you to the Blaze Group LLC for putting this together, an amazing summit for black women, black creatives, and just dope people in general. Make sure you use the hashtag Blaze Virtual Summit all over social media when you post about it, when you post this, when you post whatever. Please make sure you use the hashtag Blaze Virtual Summit and follow them at Blaze Group LLC, and of course SheJTO. Until next time, I'll holla at you.
Tribe, day 3 of the summit. DJ was lit as ever, as always, and I am so excited to be bringing you all energy from the motherland. Many of you have thought I was an anomaly by leaving the States in the middle of the pandemic and heading to Africa to live my best, most centered, most healthy life. But I've met some incredible women on this journey. They inspire me still to this day, every single day. So I'm so excited to unpack their stories in this panel discussion. So I'm gonna just let them dive on in, you know. Ladies, if you could shed some light on your individual stories by telling everyone what prompted your move from the States over to the continent, where you are now, and how you made it happen. Faye, why don't we start with you, mama?
So I'm Faye, and I moved abroad about 7 years ago. I didn't initially move to the continent of Africa. I moved somewhere in South America, but I moved because I wanted my freedom. I wanted to discover a life I loved. And she had decided she wanted to travel when she retired. Of course, you know, in the US, the retirement age is 66 and a half. She passed away at 57. That was my goal also, to travel and move abroad when I retired. And so I decided I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna do it today because life is short and tomorrow is not promised.
Felt. That's so inspiring. That is so inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing that vulnerable piece of your story. I love it. What about you that prompted your move? And what was the journey like getting here?
Oh, wow. So I had, it's kind of similar to Nikki, my best friend transitioned, and actually my best friend and a close friend transitioned within a week from each other. And so for me, it really sent me into a spiral of like, what's my purpose? What am I doing? What really makes me happy? Am I doing what's making me happy? So I fired my boss and I started thinking about what makes me happy. And I started writing out a list and I was like, you know, when I went to visit for my graduation trip to Tanzania, that's the most peace I've ever felt within me. When I went, I felt this, I felt that, and so after that, I just was like, why am I still here? And that was the next level of questioning, like, what's holding me in the States? And are these attachments that valid enough where I need to actually still be here? And I was like, no, I can maintain. My nieces and nephews, all their life I've been in school. So they're used to me being away. Maybe not that distance, but they're used to that. So every attachment I kind of came up with, it was like, that would just be an excuse. And I really need to move beyond excuses. And I was like, okay, I'm leaving. And I told some people found out when I was on the plane. Some people still don't know. Some people may find out today. So, you know, that's how I got here.
Ashe. I definitely have a story of mixed feelings around when I took my journey and I just had to do it. And to this day, you know, I'm like, one day they'll get it, but until then, you stay where you are. And I'm gonna live my best life. That's dope. That's dope, Dr. Alexis. And Rita, last but not least, what about your story? What prompted the move and what was it like coming over?
I think for myself, it might be a little bit different. Are African, so my father is from DRC Congo and my mom is Indian from Kenya. So I've been coming to Kenya for my whole life since the 80s. So for me, it was more like I wanted to really understand what it would be like to live in Africa the same way my parents were born and raised in Africa, right? I've been coming to Africa, I've been visiting Africa for many, many years, but I've never actually work in a country is much different than coming, you know. My background, I'm a lawyer, same like Faye, we're both attorneys, so you know, you can call us doctorates as well, you know. But I think maybe Faye might agree with me. I mean, I just got really tired of it. I was a public defender for almost like 15 years and I just got tired of it. I remember going out for like happy hour drinks with a couple of my girlfriends, well, 2 colleagues and one of my girlfriends, like off of Church Street on the lower side over in Tribeca. And I just remember very distinctly sitting at the table, listening to my 2 colleagues who were older than me and thinking to myself, it's like, if this is what it's going to look like in another 15 years, I'm good. Like, I'm real good. I'm good. Let's just keep it moving. I wanted to create something that I had made that was mine, that people would be proud to be associated with. And for me, maybe it was a little bit easier just because I have been coming to the continent for a long time. I have been coming to Kenya for many, many years. I do have ties to the city. I have aunts who live here. So for me, it was just more like I wanted more for myself. And I also knew, you know, the lady boss life that I see for myself was never going to be funded by being a government lawyer. And so that's kind of like how I got here.
Amazing. I honestly see myself in all of your stories. I'm sure some people listening, drop a 1 in the chat if you can see yourself. Short life was, right? She was 21. Even at 21, I was thinking about death, right? So when I hit 30, right, similar to what you're talking about, Rita, and I was called in my profession, you know, structured multi-billion-dollar loans. I was called, but still I had to wait on somebody to give me permission, right, to track faster than they thought, you know, was normal, right? I had to wait for somebody to give me permission to keep on bumping up my salary again and again because they still wouldn't get the number right. And I just left, right? And I see myself in your story, Dr. Alexis, because while everybody rooted me on when I had this corporate job making 6 figures, right? You know, VP of this and doing all of that, it was so hard for some of those same people to conceptualize me leaving the States on my own dollar, on my own merit, right? Taking a bet on myself. And so I just love that we're amplifying, you know, those stories and showing the other side of what it looks like, right? Like we're here, we're still ourselves, right? We're safe, right? Beautiful. So I want to get a little deep if we can. Dr. Alexis, pivoting over to you, you love talking about what I call the 3 C's, right? One being colonialism, right? And if you could shed light on things, unindoctrinating yourself with certain things, and then what the other side of collectivism and communalism looks like for you in your life.
So great question, first of all, because that was a large part of the reason for me to come here as well, decolonization of my mind, body, practice, and spirit. And so I'm a clinical psychologist. So a lot of Western psychology, a lot of what I learned was what has been studied and what will benefit people that do not look like me, and really does not serve people who look like me. And after I graduated, I just really, first of all, I was burnt out. I'm not gonna tell no stories. I was burnt out. And I went right into a institution. And so I literally was able to see in this counseling center how this field in which I had always intended to help my people through had no intentions or didn't have the highest, let me say that, intention of, when we talk about healing and wellness, the people who look like me being included in that conversation. And that made me really feel like, okay, this is not why I even came into this. Black students, like I just want to let everybody know that, because we need it the most. I'm just going to be honest about that. So for me, it was having those realizations. It was sitting to take the EPPP, which is a licensure exam. Years of free training, free clinical services, and realizing out of 225 questions, it was only one question that was centered around African psychology or Black psychology. Having those realizations and then failing, just being very transparent, failing that licensure exam, and having the moment where, you reach out to your other friends that are in your profession. I reach out to my other friends and they're all like, oh, I failed it 3 times. Oh, I failed it 4 times. I failed it 6 times. And I start thinking, okay, this money into this system who I've seen continuously over and over again not benefit my people. Is that really what I want to do? So for me, it was, what would that look like as a psychologist who's trained as a clinical psychologist to just focus on more spiritual healing, to focus on more holistic healing? What would that look like? And so then Reiki came into my knowledge in terms of me being trained, and then going all the way to be Reiki master and just learning these different cellular healing techniques that I feel is a bit more beneficial in conjunction with, therapeutic services. So that's what decolonization looked like that got me here. Since being here, it's been realizing even the internalized oppression that's within me and how that comes off. It's been noticing and seeing like how we carry our trauma. Africans who manifested in the West, and even as our brothers and sisters who were born here on the continent, and the different levels of oppression. Whereas us in the West, we know who is against us. We know who the oppressor is. It's very noticeable. Whereas here, the leaders look like us. So it's easy to think that your people are against you, or it's easy to have these thoughts, so it's just this understanding now of being able to see what levels of oppression globally look like, and actually seeing that within myself and choosing to actually deal with that. So that's what it's looked like for me. I hope that wasn't too long of an answer.
Nah, that's real, sis. You got a bunch of nods and smiles and smirks from us. Like, woman that was over here, but I had slowed down enough to be present enough, because literally nobody was rushing me. Like, if anything, on my slowest day, than anybody around me, right? Because that's not the culture, but I slowed down enough to hear, right? And a woman told me on a Zoom call, like, oh yeah, what you're describing is eczema. No doctor that I've ever seen, I had very good health care my entire life, right? Had ever what my stress induced, illnesses was. And she told me natural things that I could get, especially over here, to heal it. And it was the first time that I wasn't treating a symptom, right? Steroids to get the, the rash to stop flaring up, right? And some hydrocortisone to kind of thing, right? And since then, and the access to that stuff over here, right? So what you're doing right? So thank you for real for taking up space, taking the time to explain all of that, and give us a vulnerable lens into your story, Alexis. So Rita, I want to say some L's we've taken, or some, lessons that it's taken some of us longer to learn, right? As you think on your journey, right? What were your biggest challenges or losses that you faced, specifically in where you are? I think we've said where we're based yet. Maybe we can do that too in these answers, but what were your biggest challenges?
So when you're saying base, like where it is that I've started my business and where I am.
Yep.
So I am based in Nairobi, Kenya, with intentions of being able to move into all of the COMESA. For myself, I started my business. I think maybe our businesses are a bit different, at least on our panel, in that my business is very much so catered for local community. I do not cater to an online community. My community is here. I started my business just as had I have been, like a regular local person in the market starting a business, in terms of getting all of my documentations, in terms of getting my citizenship, getting my business licenses, getting importation licenses, alcohol licenses, everything like that. I've done it on my own. I think some of the biggest challenges, and I mean, we could be here all day, but I'm just gonna, because I know how we were gonna talk, so I'm just gonna leave it to the top 5, all right? Faye definitely, like Faye and I, we know each other. Faye definitely knows all of the stuff I gotta say about folks, but I'm gonna keep it classy and cute. So biggest issue here is number 1, because of our American accents, I am called a Mzungu, and for all of y'all out there in the Blaze, Mzungu is the collective African word for whites. And so I am always called a Mzungu all the time, and with my American accent. In the States, if you would have called me a Mzungu, I've been like, no. Here, I've learned to let it slide, but now also in exchange for being gracious enough to let it slide, to be given all the privileges that Mzungus are given. AKA, if I'm coming through and y'all see me, run me my stuff. I don't want to hear nothing. Give me what I got to get done. Okay, that's simple, period. I do a lot of, I really do, all of my C-suite is local Kenyans. The artists that I use, my graphic artists, my website designers, everything, I like to use local talent market, but I think that because of the way in which certain things are set up, they're not opportunity. So I really am big on that. However, a lot of soft skills, a lot. And we don't really, I think sometimes when we're in the West, fine, you want to come over, but this is definitely a challenge that is over on this side. As Americans, socialized from the beginning. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably started doing some sort of working or moving around pretty young, probably junior high school or high school, right? So there's a lot of lack of soft skills, i.e. those skills being communication, timeliness, honesty, accountability. You're going to have a hard time finding that in this market. At least for me, I know I do. And I think most of the people who do what I do, they would agree with me. Corruption. Corruption is real. Okay. Like, is corruption global? Absolutely. Everywhere, sure. In every sector, sure. These parts of the world, the corruption is on every single level. And so to give you guys an idea, when I went to go get my business licenses, they wanted an extra $600. When I went to go get my liquor licenses, they wanted an extra $15,000. When I went to put my products onto the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, which would be reasonably the equivalent of the FDA in the US, they wanted, y'all ready for this? $30,000. Okay? So the corruption is dumb real out here. It is obnoxious. It is a hindrance to all things movement. And then you're also going to get a lot of people, like for me, we are a service-based industry. We are in the wellness and health industry. We do a lot of retailers and sub distributors. You ain't gonna get paid out here. You're not gonna get paid. So you can make all the contracts in the world. I have got contracts all over. As I'd stated before, I am an advocate by trade. I'm an attorney by trade. You can make all the contracts you want to. But guess what? Enforceability on these parts of the world, it's real different. It's real different. I'm from Miami. It's like I grew up in the 90s Miami. It's a little bit more thuggish back then when I was growing up. I think you guys would all agree. I grew up on drug dealing music, not drug doing music. And sometimes it's going back to some drug dealing music, right? Like run me my money. I don't really care about what you're saying to me. Run me my cash. Just to give you an idea, I will sometimes we will have contracts out to be paid back within 30 days. I'm waiting about 90 to 120 days, up to 6 months to get paid back for a product. So in this sector, in terms of trade, you've got to really have your investment in your. You have so much money in the market right now, but remember your expenses are ongoing. So in my opinion, the big 5 challenges that I have dealt with in a very.
I think, if people know in advance, they can do things to arm themselves with the relationship. I know my fiance being Tanzania and speaking Swahili, it helps me a ton, because he knows what the market value for stuff is. He knows how to haggle and negotiate. Like, it helps on the other side of no price is fine. But yeah, if I was here by myself trying to figure that out, I'm absolutely sure as soon as I open my mouth, they're like, oh yeah, she got the Thank you, Rita. So what about you, Faye? What's been some of your biggest challenges in, personal life or even right?
Well, first I was thinking, Rita, you're only waiting 6 months for payment? Wow. Maybe you should negotiate some of my contracts.
Because I be running up on folks. I run up on them. My money.
Can
I've
you
got
come by?
employees.
I'm going to add you to my payroll. Rita and I have very different businesses. I have 2 inside of Kenya. Only American tourists, which is great because, money's paid up front. There's no issues. However, right, an issue is that I have to then work with local vendors. And so that's when I run into kind of my headaches because, people actually people showing up on time. As an American, when you book the tour or service, you expect people to come on time, but typically that doesn't happen. So decide to calm down, the tourists, like, okay, they're coming. How many minutes? I don't know. Even if I asked them, I would never know. So you kind of, it's a little tricky on that end, but still a better business for me because, I'm primarily at least getting paid from Americans. So, no matter what the issues, I've already gotten a check. So it's, kind of nice on my end. But I also run a construction company and have a lot of government contracts and other contracts with other businesses, but it's extremely difficult, I was saying, to just get paid. It's not like, you have a contract, you expect your money in 3 days. It doesn't matter how many days you add to the contract, there's always an issue. And in some contracts, I've been waiting for money since the business, still haven't gotten it. So it can be very complicated. But what I will say is that if it wasn't worth it, I wouldn't still be doing it. So it is very much worth it. Like even the money that we get paid, there are some contractors who don't pay, and the government is always, you never know, it's 50-50. But when it does come, it makes it worth the main issue for me when just trying to create business and moving forward on business is the system of patriarchy. That becomes a huge struggle because, like it's a male dominated society, like the males lead the society, period. They look at to come in and dominate. You're not to come in and tell me what to do. Where we're from, it's like, oh my God, like, no, you didn't. That's a huge faux pas. But for them, it's just a Tuesday. And so, it can be a little overwhelming for a strong woman, 2 lawyers in Kenya, so, we often have issues, and, I've discussed this with Rita, and, I just, when she would tell one of her stories, it really cracks me up, but just the way, we both have to handle ourselves, and sometimes we have to be more aggressive than we would even like to be, just because of the lack of respect they're showing for women. So that is really a huge issue for me. Call for me. I don't want to ask a man to handle my business. I think that's disrespectful to me as a woman. And so, admittedly, however, again, it's still, a great place to do business. There's a lot of money in Kenya. I think there's a lot of money all over the continent, and we haven't been getting it for a long time. And so, I'm happy to be doing business in Africa because, it's very beneficial for me, my family, and I'm sure my ancestors are going crazy where we're at.
I say all the gems. Both sides of it too, Faye, because I really think it's important for us to be very upfront again, so people can proactively get their stuff together, even if it's like how you gonna respond when this happens, right? But yes, there is a few aggressions, macro ones, etc. You might as well decide, right, which fight you want to be in. I agree wholeheartedly. And last but definitely not least, Dr. Alexis, what have been your biggest challenge? Please do share, where you are. You're based somewhere different geographically, personally, and in your business.
Yeah, so I'm just long. So in terms of business-wise, I was really cracking up in preparation of this because for those of you all who watch Insecure panel, and I'm like, first of all, so grateful to be on a panel with dope women like yourselves, with all that you have going. That's exciting for me because I'm in my novice state. Well, I don't know if I want to introduce myself as a novice. And so for me, a lot of things have been learning, especially in the wellness profession, like pricing myself and doing it where it honors my value, just being real. Because as a helping professional, I want to help everybody. And then I look up and be like, well, you also have to help yourself. So actually learning that in business, like that's really important. Oriented-based community. I want to also offer services and also be able to educate when it comes to wellness topics to our Tanzanian brothers and sisters. Swahili as I can. And then also just there are certain words in English that just don't translate in Swahili. So out these terms and just being able to translate it. Also the understanding and importance of globally, we are underserved when it comes to our mental wealth and our lives. And so it's no surprise that here that is also a challenge of getting people to understand the importance of investing in your wellness. We know, and sometimes we think wellness is, just going to get a massage, and that is a part of wellness. But actually being able to heal and discuss some deep-rooted things that keep impacting us is important as well. So just being able to communicate that confidence on a personal level as an entrepreneur. I was trained to be an employee program. They don't teach us anything about how to practice and the business side of that in my program that I attended. So I'll say that. So confidence has been something that has been a challenge for me, and really noticing, like, when I'm in spaces, am I shrinking myself, or am I really to shine and talk about the services that I provide and the passion that I have about definitely some of my challenges. Just the immigration things as well on a personal level, just figuring that out and status and citizenship and just doing those things, that can become a challenge because you have to make sure you're on top of it. Because I'm here by myself. So just figuring that out and also just building a tribe in the midst of that. So I'm grateful for the tribe I have that helps me along that journey. So yeah.
The same, you know, because it's real, right? When I came over to the continent, I decided to take the approach of being a digital nomad, right? I could, you know, sell that expertise from anywhere in the world. So I went to Cape Town first for a year, right? And I consulted, I was able to, like mentioned today, get 100% of my money up front, $1, no matter how nice it was, where the beach was, you know. So that helped a ton. And I was just surveying, right?
And I'm super pumped for you guys to be here today with me, where we're going to chat everything about growing your traffic organically and a little introduction about SEO. Today, we're going to talk all about SEO and how to really stand out on Google organically without paying for any ads at all. In case some of you are unfamiliar with me, like I actually run a travel blog. It's called Belle Around the World, which I've been running since 2015. Feel free to connect with me on Instagram, where I'm most active on. Or if you decide to take an Instagram story at any point during this, tag me so I can repost it. So because writing came naturally to me, I really enjoyed journaling. So I've been blogging or journaling since 2006. I started off with a personal private blog, you know, kind of like on blogger.com. And so in 2015, because I was addicted to life abroad and new discoveries, this travel blog was born when I went on my university exchange to France. And in 2018, through the years of experience blogging and digital marketing, I was able to take my blog full-time and earn an income entirely online, without being in a fixed location or to a fixed employer. And that's being a digital nomad for you. I'm currently now in Costa Rica for 2 months now, heading to Panama and Guatemala next. So in the past couple of years, I've been traveling full-time. This travel blog is now my gateway to experience adventures I never, ever thought I could when I was in my early 20s. Since embarking on this journey, I've been honored to do speaking engagements, been invited to guest speak in podcasts, as well as been featured in newspapers. I've partnered with various top travel and hospitality brands around the world, both as a content creator and a digital marketing consultant. Why am I telling you all these? I want to show you that all these accolades was the result of just one factor, and that is increasing my blog traffic. Because of that, I was able to build my authority as a travel expert and become trusted and vouched for by all these different brands. These are just some of the activities I was able to do in my travels in New Zealand, South Africa, and all around the world. All of these experiences that were presented to me after establishing myself as a travel expert. So, I want to ask you a question. How would you want to live a life like this? To do something that matters to you, where you can make a difference in your own littlest ways, where you can be regarded as an expert in your field, where people will turn to you for advice on whatever it is you specialize. Because, that's the reason why you have your business idea, right? Can you imagine how much more your life can change when you're able to generate leads on autopilot, how much time you'll free up, and how much more income you can make. Why am I telling you all these? Because I want to show you that if an average girl can achieve her dream of blogging full-time, achieve work freedom, be regarded as an expert in travel, and be able to be here to share more about how SEO can help you today, then you shouldn't be afraid to pursue your own blog biz ventures too, whether that's in the travel space or any other industry that you're passionate about. So at the end of today, you're going to be able to discover why growing your traffic is going to be your number one goal. And that's the only thing you want to focus on. You will be able to learn the most efficient method of growing your traffic exponentially. And you'll be this one step closer to making money off your site passively. And basically turn your lifestyle into the freedom-based lifestyle that you crave. And so today, you'll realize that you only really need to focus on one thing. It's simple, really. And that is growing your traffic. Maybe you're not convinced yet, but let me explain. With more traffic, you'll be recognized as an expert in your field. You'll be able to build your own community. You'll even be able to make a difference in your own ways. And with more traffic, you'll get more income, whether that's in the form of ads, affiliate partnerships with brands that you work with, brand sponsors. If you're in the travel field, maybe sponsored travel, or if not, if you're in a coaching business, or if you run a service or product-based business, you're able to get more leads, which in turn drive to more conversions and more customers. And eventually, when you start growing your income online and diversifying them, you'll get to achieve the luxury of, if you like to travel, be able to travel whenever and wherever you want. Everything else that you do, whether you're posting on social media, whether you're pinning on Pinterest, should thus supplement or build on your goal of getting more traffic to your blog or your website, or building your expertise. Now that we've established our primary goal to bring traffic to the blog, I want to ask you, what are the ways you do to bring traffic to your blog or your website? Let's break it down real quick. There are different forms of, there are different social media platforms. There is the option to run ads. There's also the option to run word of mouth. Let's break it down real quick, all these platforms. So social media, I'm talking about like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest. It's great because it's free. You're free to post anything you want, and you can be as creative as you like. However, the thing is, you have to put in consistent effort to put out content all the time. How many of you have heard so much advice about how you have to put out consistent content? You have to be consistently present on Instagram. You have to be consistently present on TikTok. That's the meaning of consistent effort. And the other thing is, your reach is limited to the number of followers on that platform that you have, or the number of people who are using that platform. So if you're on Instagram, you might be excluding the pool of people who are not using Instagram, but rather they use only Facebook. The other thing about social media is that your new content is going to push and bury all your old content. How many of you would go to an account and scroll all the way to the bottom and read every single post that this account has posted before? I don't think so, right? And the other thing about Instagram or Pinterest, this is more of an aesthetic platform. And so people or businesses who have really aesthetic, photogenic, artistic abilities, they tend to do better than businesses who are more abstract, who are maybe in the service business. Or say if I run a lawnmower business, no one's really going to follow my Instagram account of pictures of lawnmowers, are they? And so that's social media for you. Now, when we talk about digital ads, it's great. I love ads, although I'm an advocate of organic methods, and I'll tell you why. It's great because it's targeted. You can target the exact demographic, the exact location, age range, gender that you want to target in your target audience. And it's also measurable. For every penny you put in, you can see measurable results. The thing about running ads is that, one, it can be costly. If you really want to reach a large audience, you have to constantly pump in money all the time. Also, it's not passive. And what I mean by that is, if you are running campaigns this month, you're getting results. But in the next month, if you're not running any campaigns at all, you're more likely going to hear crickets. And in today's information age, we as users are primed to ignore ads. People can be guarded if they think they're being sold to, and so ads are no longer as effective. Lastly, when we talk about word of mouth, hands down, it is the most effective form of marketing, because I am getting recommendations from my circle of friends that I trust. Naturally, I will trust anything that they recommend. If you're able to nurture your readers into brand advocates, they become your biggest supporters. These are the people that will recommend your product without you even asking them to. The thing is, unless you already have a huge network of supporters that you've nurtured and turned them into raving fans, it definitely takes a lot of time to nurture all these people. If you're just starting out and you have a small pool of audience, small pool of customers, you're gonna be able to only reach a limited amount of people with word of mouth. And so I want you to get this. There are over 600 million blogs on the internet. Blogging has now grown to become one of the most dominant forms of web content. This statistics goes to show some way towards illustrating the sheer scale of modern blogging. Marketers who blog are 13 times more likely to achieve a positive ROI. And I want you to let this information sink in a bit. Maintaining a blog has little overhead costs, and it's often the go-to strategy for small businesses with limited budgets. Inbound marketing statistics have revealed that prioritizing business blogging can increase the chances for a positive ROI by up to 13 times. Imagine that. Stats on blogging also reveal that websites with blogs attract 55% more visitors than websites that don't maintain blogs. This can be a huge difference for your business, as more visitors mean higher lead and sales conversion rates. And 60% of people engage with blogs in some way. Of those, 39% are reading blogs up to 3 times a week. 10% do so 4 to 6 times a week, while 11% read blogs on a daily basis. This is why I advocate having a blog, because 70% of consumers prefer learning about a company from a blog post to an ad. Whether you're running a business or intending to use a blog as your main platform, it is important, it is essential to have a blog these days. My friends, that's why I want to introduce you to a new form of marketing, content. Why do I say that? In this internet age, what users want now is to be informed. They want to know if they're making the right shopping choice. Between choosing Nike or Adidas for the best trail running shoes, do you look at who advertises better? No. You Google articles, you Google reviews, you watch YouTube tutorials of people who have used the product before. And so we as users these days are now primed to ignore ads. People can be guarded, as I've mentioned, if they think that they are being sold to. And so advertisements are no longer as effective. Moral of the story, education is the new marketing. If there's anything you take out of this session, is that you want to constantly provide value for your audience. Your audience don't like being sold to. They like being taught, guided, and advised. And the best way to do that is via long-form searchable content. Now that we know the importance of content for a business or a brand, how do we grow traffic using content? The answer is No surprises there. Search engine optimization. So if you are new to this term, SEO means search engine optimization, and that is optimizing your content for the search engines. Think Google search or Yahoo search or Bing through different factors. And it's all about getting your website ranking at the top of these search queries as highly as possible. How many of you use Google? Dumb question, right? When you're looking for a new lasagna recipe to try out for the next family dinner, where do you go? You go to Google, you go to YouTube to look for recipes. You click the first result that appears, maybe the second or maybe the third. But as website owners, that's how we get our traffic organically, by ranking at the top of search engines when your target audience are searching for specific answers on search engines like Google. The higher your article is ranking on Google, the greater your visibility. The more people will click to your website, basically. Because I was able to increase traffic and readers to my site, I was able to earn a full-time income from blogging, all without selling a single product or service on my travel blog. Imagine what your potential can be if you're able to turn your traffic into leads and even customers. So these are just screenshots of some keywords that I have my articles ranking first page on. SEO applies not just to content, but also to images, to YouTube, to Pinterest. And if you actually notice Instagram now, the moment you click on, the moment you search, say, rainbow makeup, you get tons of content that are not just the names of the account Rainbow Makeup, but actually content that talks about or videos that showcases rainbow makeup. So SEO is actually even used on Instagram search these days. Once you master the fundamentals of SEO, you're ready to take on content on all these different platforms, whichever works best for your audience. We've already established that content is important for your business. Content is required to build brand awareness, followed by your audience's trust in you as a subject matter expert. Now, what if you've written hundreds and hundreds of articles, but none of them are seen by anyone except for the limited few that you push out your content to on your own social platforms? This is where SEO comes into play. Think of SEO as a bridge that links what you're sharing with your target audience. You can have 1 million articles, but without SEO knowledge, all those articles and all your valuable knowledge will just be buried in the millions of web pages online. What I love about SEO, one of the things is that it's evergreen, which means you can publish a post about the best places to visit in Greece 5 years ago. And even today, when people are searching the best places to visit in Greece, your article will still be ranked at the top. You will still be getting traffic for that exact keywords that people are searching for. And the beauty of that is it's passive, which means you only have to publish one time a really good piece of article and have it rank on Google. And then you get the traffic passively, even when you're sleeping. You are reaching a targeted audience, which means if you are merely trying to target people who are Googling about, say, lasagna recipes, right? Then you are targeting this exact people and you're able to get your desired target audience based on the keywords that you're targeting. Lastly, it's measurable because you have Google Analytics. There's a lot of statistics you can study and learn from there. And of course, it's free. You don't have to throw in any ad money at all to get all this traffic. This is a snapshot of the traffic of an affiliate post where I was promoting hotels to stay in my travel blog. In just 3 months since it was published, it grew from 0 to 300 weekly page views. Within 6 months, it drove over $6,800 in hotel bookings via referrals. I only had to publish one well-written post in the beginning. Everything else that happened after, the traffic and the affiliate revenue, it just happened on autopilot. I didn't have to pay any attention to this post at all. Now, how would you like if you could publish a post, let it sit on your website on its own, and start earning affiliate commissions or start generating leads on its own by attracting your potential customers, all on autopilot, even while you're asleep? This is one of my mentees. She mentions that as she develops all areas of her business, my SEO course has helped her determine that SEO is one of the most important things when it comes to ranking your website. Really amazing. So going back to how SEO can help you achieve more traffic, it can help you achieve not just more traffic, but also evergreen and passive traffic. And with that, it can help you crush your goals with your website, whether it's wanting to work remotely, whether it's wanting to free up more time so that you can pursue things that you love. For me, it's travel. And so you can achieve all of that. Now, let's dive right into how to actually rank on Google in a seemingly saturated market. So in the interest of time, I'm only able to touch on some fundamentals, but they are essential for you to get started with SEO. I'll be sharing some extra resources for you to claim to help complement your learning on SEO so you can continue advancing on your own after watching this training. First, let's talk about keyword research. You may have a million articles that you've published, but what use is it if A, no one's searching for it, or B, it's so competitive that it's impossible for you to be on the first page of Google? You can use keyword research to find different variations of a keyword, different angles you can approach it. You can even assess your competitors, what keywords they're ranking for, what are their top pages, who's linking to them, etc., and use that to further improve your content. Just to show you how important keyword research is to skyrocketing my blog traffic, this is my organic search traffic in the years between 2017 and 2019. I have been using KeySearch, a keyword research tool that I swear by, since 2018, and you can see what a life-changing experience it has been on my traffic growth. Without properly targeting keywords, I would probably still be drowned in the millions of articles on the internet and not have achieved such a steadily increasing traffic growth. So keyword research is a big topic, and I want to be able to complete all of my fundamentals today. And so while I'm not able to cover much about keyword research today, I would love to offer those who are watching this right now very limited time access to one section of my course tutorial, and that is how to do keyword research. It's basically a step-by-step video tutorial on how to do keyword research with KeySearch. You will learn to pick out keywords that you can actually rank for based on your site's age and authority, regardless of how saturated you think your topics may be. So you can get access to this limited time free tutorial by following the steps below. You may want to screenshot this screen. Basically, you just have to join my Facebook group called Skyrocket Blog Traffic and just create a post and type in keyword research tutorial. That will let me know that you are looking for my keyword research free tutorial, and I will send over the free access. So now going on to step 2, which is talking about some of the best on-page SEO practices. Once you've determined your keywords that you want to target and you're starting to create your own post, you want to bear in mind these places to place your keywords in. First, your title, that's really, really important. And then your URL slug. You also want to place your target keywords in the first paragraph of your blog post as high as possible. You also want to sprinkle in some of those target keywords into your H2 and H3 headings, as well as throughout your articles. If you are uploading images, make sure you include your keywords in your image title, description, and alt text. For a good on-page SEO article, you want to also include internal links, which means links to other pages of your website. You also want to include external links, which are authoritative links that are related to the blog topic that you're talking about. I won't cover so much about no follow and do follow links, but make sure your article is 100% original. And the very last thing you want to include is to have your keywords inside your meta description so that when it appears on Google search result page, not only can the potential reader know what your article is about based on your title, but they can read those 2 lines as the subtext below your title to glean an idea of what the article is about. And this really helps to improve your click-through rates. So if you want a copy of this PDF checklist, same thing, you can join my Facebook group, Skyrocket Blog Traffic, and create a post with the text on page SEO checklist, and I'll send that over to you. Third, domain authority. As the name suggests, it's a score of the authority of a domain. The higher your score, the more authoritative it is. When Google sees a site as authoritative, it's more likely to show up in search results for relevant keywords. The DA directly corresponds to the number of backlinks a page has, which I'll go into detail next. A general rule of thumb is that the more backlinks you have, the higher your authority. And so, what are backlinks? They're basically links to your page or a specific blog post. They usually do follow. And it's kind of like saying the more people, different people linking to your site, the more your site is vouched for by all these different people. Google thus counts these links towards your authority in the topics that you cover. I'm going to share some different ways to get backlinks from other sites. Due to the brevity of time, I'm not able to go through each and every one in detail. In my full SEO course, which you can purchase, you are going to get not 2, but 7 guaranteed ways for bloggers or site owners to get backlinks from authoritative sites. These are the 7 ways I've been able to get backlinks to my travel blog consistently, and they work all the time. So the easiest method is by guest posting on other high DA sites. In my SEO course, I go into detail who to guest post for and what topics to write about, because come on, who has time to write for any Tom, Dick, and Harry, right? Whoops. So here are some publications I've contributed to over the years. You just need to know where your audience is hanging out at, where they're consuming their info from, then reach out to those publications asking if they're open to you submitting a story or an article. Another way to increase your backlinks is by getting interviewed by bigger name publications. You can think about some publications that might be interested to pick up your story. I'm going to give an example. Say you write about digital nomadism, or you're actually living a digital nomad life and you want to contribute an article about your digital nomad life journey. So there are tons of articles out there. There are tons of publications that are really talking about digital nomadism right now. Even big authority sites like entrepreneur.com, forbes.com, they're all talking about, working remote. And so these are ideas, these are publications that you can consider pitching to. Huffington Post is one publication I've been getting backlinks from. Another benefit to this is that I get to reinforce my expertise in the travel industry. It sends a message to my readers saying, hey, if HuffPost trusts my travel advice, my word actually means something. If you want to learn more about how to do that, in my course, I show you how to expose your story or your brand to a whole new audience through brand storytelling and attract fans by getting interviewed by reputable media and news outlets. You'll learn how to come up with a unique and irresistible story angle that news outlets would be hungry to feature. Also, I share my exact method on how to pitch to different outlets so your emails don't get ignored. Now, here's a summary of what we covered so far. First, you really want to master keyword research, and I have a free keyword research tutorial that you can go through to get an understanding of the different ranking factors that matter and how to really choose the keywords to target for your website. 2, we talked about best on-page SEO practices, the different locations within your blog post that you should place your target keywords once you have decided on those keywords that you want to rank for. 3, domain authority. It's important to grow your domain authority of your website or your blog. Basically, you want to have as high a domain authority as possible because Google still looks at DA when it comes to ranking your site at the top of Google search. That's the reason why you always see like Wikipedia or CNN or Forbes, even BuzzFeed ranking at the top for certain keywords because they have a really strong domain authority. And lastly, to build your DA, you want to be constantly getting backlinks to your site. If you're able to follow these guidelines, you're well on your way to ranking on the first page of Google for the keywords you've targeted. And not just your article, but also your images. This screenshot you see here, this is the image that has ranked on the very, very first result when I searched Labuan Bajo, which is a destination in Indonesia. One of my clients have seen marked improvement with his traffic. As he mentions, he's improved his traffic by up to 500% since properly implementing SEO to his website. One of my students, Fiona, I really wanted to highlight her because I want to show you that even as new bloggers, as new website owners, if you diligently use strategies that I teach, you'll be able to achieve evident traffic results like Fiona. And in just 1 month, she was able to go from 35 keywords that she was ranking for to 198 keywords. And then she very excitedly went on to ranking her posts on page 1, which is a mean feat because her blog is only a few months old. Carl's a spirituality coach and one of my mentees. After taking the course, he was able to see results right away. As he mentions, as long as you're willing to put in hard work and learn, your work is going to pay off. With that, I hope this session has given you enough material to get started on SEO and optimizing your content to get your website on ranking on Google. This is your girl, Isabel. It was really great to have you here today. I hope you've got a good inside look into SEO and have learned how powerful it is in harnessing the power of organic traffic, and that you're more motivated than ever to start creating content the strategic way and grow traffic on autopilot. You can reach me on various platforms if you like to keep in touch, chat about my digital travel nomad life, or want to learn more about SEO. Thank you.
Isabel, y'all, Isabel is in the house. Isabel, I saw you on backstage for a minute. I don't see you now. Hit the hand raise button and I'll bring you on stage. Let me see if I can pull you from no, I can't. Yeah, hit the hand raise button and I'll pull you on stage. All right, y'all, that was so dense, right? So many very real examples of how to create passive income. Please do load your questions to the Q&A chat so that Isabel can answer them for you. I know that this has been a long day, like all of them are. Oh, wait, let me text Isabel. Somehow she got kicked out, it seems. But this is the last session of the day. And then we're about to start with networking again like we did last night, literally immersing ourselves into Web3, right? So we get the hang of this stuff. Give me a moment. Let me see where Isabel went. In the meantime, though, I think some of these questions you already have the answer to. So Facebook name. Can y'all type it in the chat for those who missed the Facebook name? There you are, Mama. So just hit the hand button at the bottom of the screen. You might be backstage. Let me see. Yep, I see you. All right. Hello, Isabel.
Hi. Sorry, it was bad timing.
No worries, you're in Guatemala. That's what.
Yeah.
That's
Hello.
what it's like being a nomad. How are
I
you
did.
today?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you? How's everyone?
Good. That was so rich. That was so rich.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
while we have you, we'll make sure we flip the questions pretty quick.
Oh,
And just to remind everyone, Isabel, how long have you been basically supporting your lifestyle as a traveler? How many
yeah.
years?
I've been traveling since 2018 full time.
Super dope. 4 years.
So over seven years. Yeah, since like over 4 years. Yeah, but I've been running my blog for over 7 years. That's right.
Dope. Okay, so let me raise some of these questions. So the first one comes from Dejanay, Isabel, and she says there are so many SEO plugins out there as well, particularly for WordPress. Rank Math and Yoast being top 2 contenders. Which do you prefer?
Yeah, this is a good question. I've used both, and I'm particularly biased towards Rank Math these days. I'm just using the free version. Both have free versions, and I think the free version for Rank Math is especially beginner friendly because it helps you set up everything. As long as you have a Google Analytics account, it helps you basically set up to have your WordPress optimized for SEO on the back end, and you don't really have to deal with all the technical advanced settings. So yeah, I would go with Rank Math.
Really, really great question, Dejanay. Very, very awesome feedback. Okay, and the next one is coming from Tiffany Brown. She asks, what
Ooh.
site do you use for flights when traveling as a travel blogger?
Yeah, I am totally unbiased here, and I would say Google Flights. It's like by far the best tool I have found to really search for flights across the board. Like whether it offers a lot of flexibility, like you can search everywhere, you can search based on your budget, you can search based on how many stopovers you want. So, and there's this map function. If you go to flights.google.com and there's I think there is the explore button. So when you hit the explore button, you can see by list, and you can also see by the map. So the map is very interactive. As long as you move your map around, it will show you prices from one place to all these areas in the region within the map.
Super dope. And if anyone has any more questions, definitely don't be shy about asking. You can even come to the stage, right? So if any of you want to dialogue with Isabel, you can absolutely do that. So just hit the hand button at the bottom and I'll bring you on stage, and you can ask questions, you can give feedback, you can give flowers, whatever it is that you want to do. While that's queuing up, Isabel, two questions, right? When you first started traveling, was it scary for you? And number two, do you still travel alone?
Was it scary for me? Yes, there is always an element of fear when it comes to putting yourself in uncertain situations, especially like entering in a foreign country. For me, how I combated that was like picking countries that have more a better reputation for safety, like in more developed countries like Europe, the Europe region, or like New Zealand, which was where I kind of started as well. So as long as you pick places that are kind of established and with crowds, you're not in a totally rural town in the middle of nowhere, it's good to start there. And your second question on whether I travel alone, yes, I do. Actually, this Guatemala trip, I actually booked it for myself. And I was just planning to wing it on my own, but coincidentally, my friend from Mexico, whom I met last year, exactly 1 year ago, decided to come join me. So I am traveling with a friend. But yeah, I'm totally down for traveling solo.
Super dope. And I think that perspective is good to share from the horse's mouth, if you will, right? Because I travel solo as well. I actually met my now fiance on a solo trip, like literally not checking for anybody.
I feel like it's the best way to meet people. The past 2 days I was alone. I already met some friends from the hostel, from
100%.
before I
Yeah, and I agree, you know, being and because the audience is all women, right? All Black women. You know, I echo everything Isabel said, right? Like do your research, right? Because typically
Mhm.
if a place has been found to be dangerous for expats, someone's gonna write about it, right? Like everything Isabel said today is timely because all the 87% of the information we consume is from blogs, believe it or not. Like when you're
Yeah.
searching, 87% of the answers you get are from blogs, from people who just decide to write about something. So you're gonna
Mhm.
typically find it if something is dangerous. But yeah, like I mean, I'm sure you've gone all over the world, Isabel. I've way more than me, but I've definitely solo traveled to Cape Town, Kenya, um, Dubai, Tanzania.
Mhm.
Like I love a good solo trip.
Yeah.
I get my best like healing and creative flow when I'm by myself.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I tend to like think. I tend to be able to write more when I'm on my own and with my own thoughts. Totally.
Yep, agreed. Okay, so Mia wants to come on stage and talk to you, and then we'll have Chandra. So Mia, I'm bringing you up.
Hey, Isabel.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you so much for sharing. So, I love to eat. I am a total foodie. And
Mhm.
this is something that I would like to do, but I don't know where to start. Do you have any tips on traveling and maybe blogging about food?
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's tons. I think there are already tons of food travel bloggers out there. And actually, food is a really lucrative blogging industry. Like you see people, I mean, people with just food blogging and sharing recipes, they're earning tons of money from blogging on with food blogging. And you can definitely combine food travel as well. I have a good friend. He's a YouTuber. He vlogs solely about food, and he's been based in, so he's American and he's been based in Vietnam, mostly in Asia for the most part, because Asia has the best food culture ever. I miss Asian food so much. And yeah, definitely if you have a chance, you might want to like immerse in like a region, like for example Southeast Asia, and really sample different foods, share it with your audience, whether it's through video or whether it's through writing. I think there's tons of opportunities out there with food blogging and travel.
Okay, thank you so much.
Of course, happy to help.
Great question, Samia. Thank you. All right, and Chandra, I'm bringing you up on stage to talk to Isabel.
Hi, Isabel. Thank you so much for all the information. It was very beneficial.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. One thing that I am looking to do is health and wellness and holistic approach. And on a spiritual journey right now, I'm researching how to heal myself of certain elements using natural and holistic methods. So my question would be is how could I start a blog such as that one? Or do you think, I think there is a market for it. But do you think that'll be a good market to target on Google or more so YouTube or other areas?
So based on the research, do you plan to write based on your experience or based on your research that you found?
Based on my experience and the research.
Okay.
So my experience with the research and the knowledge of how it's helping me.
Yeah, honestly, you can go both ways, I would say. And like, I would encourage you to, depending on what you're more comfortable with, like whether it's writing, whether it's, writing behind the screen or really coming in front of the camera, you can do it either way. And it's really easy to repurpose stuff these days. If you prefer writing, you can literally read off your article as a script. And if you prefer the video, a vlog, or share it over video, you can then transcribe it into a blog article. And I would say it works both ways. YouTube is probably faster to grow, but you do have to be really consistent. Like you do have to publish weekly or twice weekly. Almost, I've heard this tip where you probably have to publish like the first 100 videos out there before you start to become recognized on the YouTube SEO scene. With blogging, it also takes time. So it works both ways. And I think it is a very lucrative industry as well, because everyone's going into a spiritual, like they're more mindful about their health and wellness these days. So definitely, like personally, me too, like maybe not spiritually, but I start to Google about different herbs, spices, essential oils, things like that. natural remedies, things like that. So I think there's definitely like a market out there. If you want more concrete information on whether there is a demand, you can always do some keyword research and see what kind of volume search certain keywords in that niche has, and you'll probably be more affirmed on whether or not to focus in certain areas within the whole industry.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, pleasure.
Thanks so much, Chandra. And super dope, y'all, in the chat. I see a lot of you are giving feedback to her question. It looks like that's a very in-demand topic in our demographic, especially. So I think it's dope you said it on stage, Chandra, because you're in a vein, clearly. All right, Isabel, I'm bringing up Tiara to talk to you right now. Man, Tiara, you having the problem that Courtney did earlier. I'm gonna remove you and try it again. I don't know what the genesis is for this type of issue, but just try it again, Tiara. While we're waiting for Tiara, I'm going to put a new question on the stage, Isabel. Tiara has a question in the Q&A, super dope. She asks, are there any good podcasts or reads you recommend to help us get familiar with SEO?
Yeah, I think there are a bunch. Let me just look at my library real quick. There is one, I highly recommend Amy Porterfield. Her podcast is called Online Marketing Made Easy. I also like The Mindset Mentor. So these are all more generic online business tips, but they're also like The Smart Passive Income by Pat Flynn. Oh, and one that's really particular with SEO, it's called The Blogging Millionaire. He really goes into detail, like everything about SEO. So that's helpful. I think The Blogging Millionaire is someone you should check out for sure. And I think there is one more. Let me check real quick. It's by Doug Crowe. I'll type it out in Doug Crowe. He's also great for with affiliate marketing.
Super dope. And I've typed out the first four you said, Isabel. So y'all, it was Online Marketing Made Easy, The Market Mentor, The Smart Passive Income, The Blogging Millionaire, and then this fifth one, Isabella's typing out for you. Oh, she did. And I'm gonna show it on the stage. Doug Crowe.
Yep.
Super dope. All right. Tiara, we're gonna try again, mama. No, oh. We see you, and you look very passionate. No. One step closer.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi.
Yay! I just wanted to thank you for bringing your SEO to us so much, because I've been trying to learn SEO by myself. I put the alarm on for this, and this was everything I needed it to be.
Oh,
so thank you so very much. But what I was learning with SEO, they were saying that there was like a new form of Google or something that was coming out, and how they were going to do their rankings within the next couple of months or sometime next year or something. And they were saying something about the need to have videos on your site to help boost your SEO and stuff like that. One second, baby. I'm sorry. I'm make it quick because they keep talking to me. So I just wanted to know your thoughts on that, and if there's a way to make sure we're at least still at that trend, or if we can beat it. Any recommendations? Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I think what you're talking about with the new Google is probably the Google Analytics. They're running this thing called GA4, which they're going to make everyone who's on Google Analytics transition into a new way of collecting data. As far as the algorithm goes, keywords is still the fundamental thing that is built upon SEO. So without keywords, without the demand and supply of keywords, the algorithm basically doesn't exist. And so I wouldn't worry too much about trends, because because honestly, like what I've just covered today, it's all the fundamentals. So it's really essential to master those if you really want to get into SEO. And I wouldn't just say, you want to rank on Google, learn SEO. Even if you want to rank on YouTube, even if you want to, Instagram these days, you go to the search bar, you search like rainbow makeup. It doesn't show you specific account's name anymore. It shows you anybody who has created content about rainbow makeup. So that's SEO in play. And so, master the fundamentals. Don't worry so much about the trends. The second thing you asked was if video is important. I would say yes, it does. There's been studies that have shown if you put two content together and one with video, the one with video tends to do better. So as a rule of thumb, if you're able to supplement your content with different multimedia, whether it's video, pictures with alt text and description, videos, pictures, infographics, if you have statistics, anything to back up your content, anything that shows Google that, hey, this article is really not just informative, but it's also backed up with real life data with, there's a mosquito, sorry. Basically anything that, shows expertise in that topic that you're talking about, that's key. That's what Google will show at the front of your search engine results. So if you have video, definitely put it in.
Super dope. Thank you so much, Isabel. And Gina, I'm bringing you to the stage, love.
Isabel and Casey, thank you. I walked away for a quick phone call and you were saying about keywords, and that was part of what I was trying to wait and listen for, and then I had to go away. So how often, with the keywords we're looking for, how often should I go back and say update or look at it if I'm doing the best that I can be doing? Because I think that my keywords are good, but it's not really bringing the traffic.
Yeah. I would first look into your competitors. So for the keyword phrase that you're trying to rank for, go into incognito, type that in, look at your top competitors, and then really study your competitors out there. Like, look at the length. Are they writing more than you? Are they putting more images? How are their articles formatted? Is it really organized? Does it include topics that you didn't cover? So really you want to outrank them, right? So in order to outrank them, you have to have content that do better than them, that reveals more information about that topic more than them. So I think that your competitors are the best way to improve your content. There is also, because I was talking about key search, there is also a function in key search where you can literally put, because I'm in the travel field, I'm going to give an example, like Boston itinerary, let's say a blog that has a Boston itinerary, you just copy that specific URL. And if I had a blog post about Boston itinerary and I put it in, they will show you the comparison of the keywords that they are ranking for that you are not. So that's super helpful because you know that you're missing those keywords. And so you can beef up your content by adding those keywords and furnishing it with more information. With your other question on how often to go improve it, I tend to do an audit, I would say once a year. Oh, okay. But it also depends on how competitive those keywords are. So if it's something that if it's a topic that you really want to rank, I would be more diligent with going into Google and typing it in and seeing where my competitors are and where I stand in the result page, and then improve it from there. Basically, the more updated the content is, and the more relevant the content is. For example, if you had a 2022 best flooring for, I'll do a travel example, best destinations to visit in 2022 versus someone who is talking about best destinations in 2021. If you have content that's updated and also in trend, then you definitely have a better chance of ranking than them. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Gina.
Isabel in the content, I mean, in the comments, they love all that you're giving, all these gems that you are dropping. So thank you so much. Okay, so I'm gonna throw another one on stage. This one is from Courtney. She asks, how would you blog for a nonprofit for domestic violence?
I would say the same with everything else. Like, what is your purpose with running a blog that's about domestic violence? Is it to create awareness? Yeah, I guess it's to create awareness. So like Casey, you gave an example on answerthepublic.com. That website gives you a ton of ideas on, if you keyed in the keyword search domestic violence, it will give you a ton of ideas. You can also write from personal experience. Like, in general, like, people love connecting via personal experiences, storytelling. So I would inject not just SEO, like not just keywords that people are searching for, but also personal storytelling, because that's what gels your readers to you, and that's how you build loyalty with your blog brand. So with domestic violence, it's a topic that has very heightened emotions, and so I definitely would encourage personal storytelling. It doesn't always have to focus on SEO. If it's a topic that people feel strongly about, you're going to attract an audience no matter what. So one idea is, interviewing people in a similar stage, in a similar situation, who have strong women or strong personas who have overcome domestic violence before. So all these interviewee profiles, they're going to strengthen your brand, your topic on domestic violence. So that could be one way for you to start out.
That's so good, Isabel. All right, I'm gonna show very quickly, Isabel, the last one, y'all. We out of time. I'm gonna show the last one because I practice this in my head. So Mallory, she asked this in the Q&A spot as well as in the chat. So let me ask it. I just recently graduated and am in college. I've always loved singing and dancing, but couldn't find a way to add the business aspect to it. Do you have any suggestions?
Wow, that's a really creative topic. Do you like blogging, or do you like because with singing and dancing, it feels like it's a very visual aspect to this industry. And are you open to sharing your talents, No worries. Casey, I think you're muted.
Sorry, me and my mom are both listening to this at the same time. But yes, I actually am willing to blog about it. Because ever since I was a little girl, those two things have always been the things that I'm most passionate about. But I could never figure out a way to really make a good profit off of it. And that was just something that I wanted to ask.
Yeah, I would say in that field, I would go into video, whether it's like on YouTube or whether it's TikTok. If you are open to sharing and like flaunting your talents, I think those platforms would really do well with singing and dancing. And yeah, naturally, once you've built an audience, you can definitely monetize as a creator, as a talent, as a creative. So yeah, are you open to those, or are you thinking deeper into the business aspect?
Honestly, I think I would like to do both. Just to be able to see both sides and how they work for me. And also like the traveling aspect of it, because with singing and dancing, there's so many different types all around the world, and I want to be able to show that not everybody has to fit in one box. You can do it all. So yeah, I would really like to do both. I think both would be good for me.
Yeah, I think so, because YouTube is a longer form of video where you post like maybe 8-10 minutes, to even up to 30 minutes long. And with TikTok, it's like up to a minute, right? So you can also always repurpose. You can always film like something long and then cut it into bits, into like minute long segments and share it on TikTok. And then both are really great profiles that you can really grow organically in. And I mean, take Jennifer Lopez as an example. Like, she's a representative of like the Latino culture, and she's also really made it really well in her career with not just, she started off as a dancer, but then she went into acting and then into singing. So go girl, you can definitely do it. There's already people out there that has done it before. Entertainment industry is always sought after. So it's definitely something you should pursue. Don't second guess yourself.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Super dope. Yeah, I'm glad you came up, Mallory. And what's up, moms? Thank you for tuning in too. Beautiful, 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 y'all. And I gotta tell y'all how I met Isabel to the point of SEO, right? So I literally searched for digital nomads, right? And not just on the internet, I went in Facebook because I intentionally wanted to meet people. I didn't want to read a blog, right? So do not regress in your thinking. We've talked about building communities. We've talked about building worlds, right? We've talked about literally going past these centralized platforms that are dying out, right? That's what's the future, right? And building something new to create the culture for what is to come. I went into Facebook, used SEO searching because I wanted to find community, right? I joined a group and Isabel was there talking that talk. I don't remember what she said, but I was in the right place at a certain time, right? And then I commented to her, she commented back. This is the energy you move with as founders, right? And I think maybe a week later, right, Isabel, you were on my IG Live.
Yeah, I know. It's the synergy, man. Like, I mean, as long as you're open to collaborations, as long as you're open to opportunities, it like subconsciously, everything just works out in your favor. The universe works out for you.
100%. Thank you so much, Isabel. This was so rich. We will be in touch, you know. But I love that you're still doing your thing and traveling the world. Stay free. It looks really good on you.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for your really supportive and kind comments too. Look forward to staying in touch with you guys. Thanks,
Awesome.
Casey.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful ladies, beautiful. So again, right, because every round goes higher, we've gone through 3 full days, right? 3 full days. If you feel like I feel, my mind is dense with information, right? But this is not just to have it go in one ear and out of the other. We are doing something with this information, okay? And this SEO piece is very, very critical. It's a reason why we talked about this before we go into the community building tomorrow, right? I don't know how many of you might believe this, but 95% of the speakers, I partnered with 40 companies for this right here that you're experiencing right now, right? Very rich in content, very effective, quality is high, right? Do you know where I found them? SEO Instagram. I literally searched in keywords because I knew what I was looking for. A Black woman, who was cold, who was an expert in certain areas, not all the areas. There were certain areas for this. I searched that via the search button because SEO is a real thing. I'm not making this. Y'all know this by now. Y'all know I'm making this up. And women came up. 95% of the speakers. Listen, it's not 100 of them, right? 95% of the speakers I found on Instagram, and I shot my shot in the DM. It wasn't a formal letter or any of that stuff, right? And I said, hey, would you like to audition? Because I still protect my community, right? I still want to know what they got. I still want to make sure that the quality is good. But we started forming a relationship 2 months ago, right? And literally, there's been a whole lot of relationship building. I'm literally giving y'all the keys for a reason, because we're going somewhere higher tomorrow, right? But understanding SEO, not only how to use it to be found, right? But using it to find the people you're looking for is so important. So put these words into action, right? And I think my internet is kind of in and out. Drop a 1 if you can hear me. Drop a 1 if you're still with me, because I don't want anybody to miss this. All right, beautiful. Thank you, Tiara. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Chandra. Okay, beautiful. I want to make sure. So leverage this to your benefit. I do not want you to regress. Listen, women who yesterday said, oh my gosh, I'm gonna make a world where we can do grassroots type stuff. Don't regress. Literally use SEO to find the people who are looking for you, to find the people who are looking for certain types of communities, to find the people who are looking to answer to certain pain points, to find the people who you can coach or consult, right? And it does not have to only be on this one-dimensional thing, right? You're leading them wherever you want them to go, right? But do not regress, okay? I want you to keep thinking bigger. Ask yourself, why not me? Ask yourself, what would you do if you were not afraid, right? And you use these tools to take you higher, okay? I want to make sure we remember that. Now, speaking of networking and shooting your shot and having a relationship and all of these things, similar to what we did last night, right? We are about to do our networking piece, right? And there's a blitz. There's three different options, okay? And what we've experienced here was horizontal collaboration, horizontal relationship building, horizontal, letting people be in their zones of genius, right? Yes, there are a few partners, but I was rocking with them for real. We really had a relationship. I'm not bringing anybody in because I'm like, oh my goodness, we need a big corporate name, right? So I want you to use these networking opportunities to literally build relationship and figure out how dope your sister is in certain areas, and y'all build together, right? In different ways. Networking opportunity number 1 is the speed networking round. That's only going for 25 minutes. Meet 5 people. Like, this is so important, y'all. Like, I cannot stress to you how important it is to meet people, because 1 + 1 is 11. You learn about tools. You learn about software. You learn about money. You just learn so much stuff, right? So when you get thrown in there tonight, you'll meet 5 people. Depending on how long I talk, it might just be 4. That's it. Okay, it's going to be 5 minutes on the screen. Literally, this is good practice to do the elevator speech, where you can get out who you are, you can get out who you cape for, right? And you listen to the other person and y'all exchange information. After that round, it is in the fluid space. The fluid space was lit last night. The fluid space is stepping closer into Web3. Even if you don't have, right, these, right? The fluid space allows you to use spatial audio technology, where if you see a cluster, you can double click and get close to those people and talk to them and turn on your video. You can go somewhere else. And the farther you are away from people, you can't hear them, right? And the closer you go, you can hear them, right? Some of y'all, you might not be ready to go to more immersion tomorrow, but you might realize that these types of things are better for your community than doing the breakout rooms in Zoom. Because the breakout rooms in Zoom, you're stuck there until somebody gets you out. I mean, who really wants to still do that post the pandemic, right? So doing this kind of stuff, again, it helps you to use tech to make things larger than life, right? So after the, at this point, 4 rounds of networking, right? Speed networking, you will go into the fluid space. It's only 30 minutes, right? It's only 30 minutes. But again, like, y'all really need to be exchanging information. You need to be talking about what you do. You need to be coming up with ideas. Pitch to each other. Say, I have this idea. What do you think about it? Like, we gotta start moving like this, y'all. And I promise you, I'm glad you have fun in there, Gina and Courtney and Raven. Dope things will happen. Now, the spot number 3, okay? Spot networking opportunity number 3 overlaps with both of these sessions because it is virtual reality. It's the virtual reality track, okay? Where some folks are gonna meet me inside of the Blaze Group Retreat cabin, okay, in VR. So to get there, either on your inside of your headset, go to Horizon World app, say it one more time, Horizon World app. So inside of VR, you have apps just like you have on your phone, right? There's an Instagram app and a TikTok app, et cetera, right? So inside of this, many of you went to buy it last night. That's so dope. I'm so proud of you. You go to your Horizon World app, right? Make sure you're in there. You'll get to set up an avatar. Don't worry, I'll be in there in an hour, right? Because it's going to overlap with the networking sessions inside of here. And then you search for Blaze Group Retreat. As soon as you type in Blaze, you're going to see us, though, okay? We have 2 worlds in there. Come in Blaze Group Retreat, right? And there will be games. I'll literally teach you how to pick up stuff and throw it. It'll be very fun. You'll be able to walk around. When you walk away from somebody, you can't hear them. Similar to people in this platform, right? When you walk closer, you will be able to hear them. And we'll have a good time. And oh, by the way, the world that you're going to go inside, Blaze built it for free. and you can build your own for free. Literally, we're bringing you in here so you can do this thing tomorrow if you want to. How long did it take us to build it? And it's beautiful, by the way. 2 hours. 2 hours. Marie Smith talked to you about low code, no code. And this is literally low code, no code, where you get to just choose your options, you drag and drop, and you can make a world. But we'll go inside, we'll see how it feels. I'll see you in there. That's all I got. Any questions before we break? Oh, and the other way to get in there, if you're coming into VR, is to go to the feed section, right? So that top feed chat, and then look at the pinned comment, because the pinned comment actually has a link that you can click. And when you go inside of there, it'll say like, open this up on my VR headset, and literally it'll be loaded in your headset for the next 10 minutes. Okay. All right. I'll see y'all in here. Raven's going to kick off the speed networking session right now. And then y'all will be in there for 20 minutes, so just four introductions, 4 interactions, and then the fluid space. But literally do this, and then it's over. Then it's over. At the top of the next hour, it's over. Y'all can do whatever y'all want. Y'all can hang out at different tables, right? But you need to get these reps in so you move differently in the world out there, and it'll be less scary if you do it in here. All right, love y'all. I love day 3. Y'all are super, super duper fire. Keep the same energy. Bye.